I feel like we should have talked to Ethan more before we started. So he knows.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit.
What?
Oh, it's happening.
Come on, out.
Oh, what's up?
Welcome to Chick Chat Comedy Podcast. I'm one of your hostesses, Patty Rossborough, and I'm here with the very sassy, very cranky
Carrie
Ethan.
Karavis.
Oh.
Carrie Karavis.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's also cranky?
Yes. And we have a fantastic... I'm going to get rid of this gum in a second, but I'm just getting rid of the smell.
I'm sorry about that.
Ethan Herschenfeld is here. Now,
Yeah.
most of the people we have on have 0 credits. Like, let's be honest. We can't get people with
What?
credits on
That's
this
not
show.
what I was told. That's why I'm here. Now you're telling me about the 0 credits?
And
since the
he's
fucking show
handsome
started?
to boot,
Very
right?
handsome.
He's so
And
handsome.
You know what I like
gosh.
about his face? Can I tell you what I
What
like
do
about
you-
his
oh,
face?
boy.
I like his body and
glasses.
his tall
Oh, my
height.
God.
The nose. I have to have a man who outnoses me.
That's me too.
I can't have...
He's
I
got a
need a
little way to
guy
go.
heavier than me when he lays on top of me, so
Oh,
I'm not
boy.
the fattest one.
Wow.
And I want him to have a nose that, like...
Hashtag me
Says
too.
hello.
I am feeling very
He's very sexy, very cute.
Yes.
rectified. I like it.
Nice
So-
Yes,
mouth.
we
Good
can
teeth.
do that
Wow.
because we're girls.
I look at the teeth.
Yeah, I got a lot of dentists in my family. Need I
Good.
say.
Oh, very
But,
nice. Oh, yeah.
The
That's a Jewish thing.
Herschenfeld.
The Herschenfeld dynasty,
clan.
dental dynasty. Very, but before...
Let me just
go
break
ahead,
in here. No, I'm
please.
kidding. I'm going to be one of those guests.
I would let you. That's like JP Justice. We never get a word in edgewise when we have that. Do you want to tell them about your... I know you usually ask about your week, but...
Oh, absolutely.
So here's my week.
Oh, her week, yeah.
My week.
So, Carrie's week.
What
I get-
about the Jewish ladies?
No, let me tell you about what Jewish ladies.
Leave him alone.
What Jewish ladies?
Carrie does shows for rich Jewish ladies, even though
I want
she's
in.
not a
What,
rich...
where, when?
Why is there toilet paper coming off that? Oh.
No, let's talk about my week. I took the kids to the mall to get, I don't remember what they had to get or something had to get, right? And then, of course, when you're walking through the mall, you smell that horrible smell of Annie's pretzels. It is so lethal. You can't, you're weak. You're like, oh, my
Oy.
God, I can't fight this. It's like heroin. So, of course, we have to go over there. I'm like, I'm not getting anything. And then they're like, well, if you buy 3, you get 1 free. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I'm holding the
You
pretzels.
fell for that?
And I fell for that.
That's a Gentile thing to fall for that, you realize.
Wait, 3 is for the price of 1?
No, you buy 3 and you get 1 free.
Oh.
They're already $5 a pretzel.
So you ate 3 of them, Carrie?
No.
Oh,
My kids were eating them.
okay.
And then my son goes, I want ice cream. It was his birthday, so I'm like, okay, go get ice cream. A little cup this big from Haagen-Dazs, $10.
10?
9 something. I go, what? I go up to the girl. I go, this is 9. She goes, yeah, he got 3 toppings. I go, still.
It's ridiculous.
He got a scoop of ice cream. 9 something?
Can I
You
ask you,
motherfuckers.
Please let
where
Ethan
do you
join
live?
in.
What are we? Where is this?
On Long Island.
hellish-
Long Island. Where do you
Oh,
think she
I
lives?
was gonna say where the
Connecticut.
Hell Mall is, where things cost. Jeez.
They
Sorry.
keep getting you.
Can I-
Anyway, so now we get the pretzels, and I'm holding them, and I ate one. Well, it was delicious going in, but I'll tell you, for the
Oh, boy.
next 2 days, because I don't eat gluten, my arms are hurting me.
Yeah, we were both gluten-free.
My legs hurt when I go up the steps. I'm like, my shoulder, my neck, I got a stiff neck now. This is all from the gluten.
That's right. It'll fuck you up for like 4 days, and then you start to wind back down again. I have other problems which I won't discuss over the thing that the gluten does to
Is
me.
this show anti-gluten? Because again, I'm leaving. I eat nothing
Do you
but
eat
gluten.
gluten?
We
I'm
hate
only
gluten
I'm
people.
gluten only
We
'cause
hate
I'm-
gluten
Because I'm
people.
like vegetarian/vegan, so I eat
Oh,
nothing. So I eat so
no.
much pasta. I eat gluten all day. Yeah.
That's
But
not
have you
good
ever
for
thought
you.
about going
Well,
off the gluten and seeing what that would do?
No, I don't feel. I have no feelings. Like I have empathy for animals. I have no empathy for gluten. My eating decisions
But the
are all empathy
gluten,
based.
the gluten's
I don't-
damaging
gluten-
you.
No,
not-
I don't care about me. I care about the other creatures.
Okay, well,
That's my thing.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I can understand that. But let me
why
just
are you
say one
skinny,
thing.
though, if
I
you eat
like
pasta
because
all
he's
day?
eating vegan. He doesn't eat any
Sugar?
dairy.
No, I cheat. I eat the
Dairy's-
dairy. But I
okay,
don't
then
eat
you're
the
not
animals.
vegan.
I know. I
So you'll eat an egg?
Dabble in vegan. No, I won't eat an egg. Oh no, I won't eat an egg.
You want to
Because
eat an
that's
egg?
the
No,
before.
just because it's gross. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Oh.
gross, but not because it poops out. Well, and no honey then if you're
No,
vegan.
no, definitely no honey. No, I have empathy for the bees. I'm not kidding. They smoke them. There's no reason to smoke those little
What,
beautiful
they
creatures.
smoke them to get the honey?
Yeah, they smoke them to control them. It's bee mind control. They smoke. Google that,
Okay,
everybody.
they're killing
Google
them.
smoking the bees.
Monsanto is killing them with the GMOs.
Yeah, what does that stand for? No, I know what this is. Yeah, vegan. Yeah, gluten.
Genocide of the bee.
There
Wait,
you go.
so
Vegans are very anal, though. Have you noticed
I'm not
that?
into that.
I'm
that-
not
no,
vegan.
I'm
You're
and
not
I'm
like
anal.
all
Yes,
crazy
like that.
vegan.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
no.
like. 'Cause
I'm not vegan and I'm anal.
I've.
Well, we're talking about two
well,
different
you're
anals.
Greek. You're Greek.
I have a good vegan joke from my act. I'm going to share it with you
Please,
right now.
go ahead.
You have
my
an
girlfriend's also.
Okay, go.
That was good. That was good.
That's so hurtful.
Now
my
I'm glad.
neck.
Now I'm glad I came. No, my girlfriend's also vegan, but we're not really like strict about it.
You
We
have
have
a
a cheat day.
girlfriend?
We have a cheat day on Wednesdays. We sleep around. Thank you.
That's a funny joke.
Yeah, thank you. It
Well,
is.
then tomorrow you and I are going out.
Perfect.
Do you have a girlfriend?
I
That
do.
pisses me off
What? That.
that you're having.
Oh, I thought that she
Yeah.
asked. I thought it pissed you off that she was getting so personal after just meeting.
I
me.
want to know about your girl. See, I assume you could be gay, and I'll tell you why.
I appreciate that, and I take that as a
Because
compliment.
you're slender.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're well groomed.
Thank you.
And you
Great
sing opera.
glasses.
You sing opera. Do you want to sing
Oh.
a little Rigoletto for us?
No,
Oh,
no. Rigoletto's
okay.
a tenor. I'm a bass.
Oh,
But
I'm sorry. What do you sing?
Oh. Well, there's a-
Pagliacci. What's that
Another
song?
tenor. That's
Oh,
another
that
tenor.
is okay. I'm sorry.
The three tenors.
All right.
Pavarotti, the other guy, and the other guy.
Madam Butterfly.
She's a soprano. Anyway, but yeah, I did do a part in that show. There's a guy who comes on right at the beginning of Madam Butterfly. He's angry that his wife married a white man. That his niece married a white man. So the angry uncle, comes on, and he just yells at her for about
And
3
you're
three
the
minutes.
uncle?
That was my role in that opera 20 years ago.
And did
yeah.
you sing yelling, or you just
Yeah, it's
yelled?
a yell sing. It's a yell
Yes,
sing.
Patty. That's what he did.
That's-
He's
in
an
fact-
opera singer.
He sings
fact-
really good.
In
You
fact,
should sing for us.
That's a good. I don't want to talk about the singing thing so much, but here's the thing.
Why
Well,
not?
Someone on a talk show, Pavarotti was asked, "How do you do it?" I think it was Letterman or someone. Carson asked him. He said, "You open up the mouth, you yell very loud, and then you make it pretty." So
Yes.
So that's it. The first thing is you got to yell loud.
Carrie, you got that covered.
I apologize, by the way, to all of Italy for that horrible accent. I just that's so.
I thought it was pretty good.
Now, wait,
thank
why
you.
don't you want to talk about opera? Because you
No.
don't consider yourself an opera singer?
No. I've started focusing in the last few years. I did that for a long time, and I've focused my attention now on the comedy and on my acting, on the TV
Shift.
stuff I'm doing.
Change and
I
shift.
couldn't have three. They say you can't ride two horses. You can, but you can't ride three.
Yes.
So I got rid of that. Opera
Depends
was the
on who
horse.
the
That.
girl
I was
is.
thinking that would be because you have to do your voice every day.
Well, that you got to do, but also it's just how there's only so many hours in the day, so many auditions, so many things you can think about, so many. I don't know.
But you had your fun with it, and now
Yes,
you're doing your
thank
fun
you.
with comedy.
Thank you.
Comedy's a lot of fun.
Yes, thank you.
Do you find comedy a little more rewarding, self-rewarding than the opera?
She just touched me again. No. I do.
Carrie's very
You have a lens-
flirtatious.
you
There's
have
a lot
lens.
of dogs in the house. We have a lot of dog hair. Yeah, I will. Okay, the first time I did stand up was in the late '90s here.
90s,
Yeah,
really?
in the late '90s.
Late
But then I got focused on the singing, so I didn't do it for a long time. But the whole time I was singing, I was like, that comedy thing. There's something more rewarding in that. It's something you wrote yourself. And you're doing it yourself, and it's totally naked. There's no orchestra, there's no costume, there's no nothing. It's just you doing your thing. And when you get a great laugh for your stuff, there's nothing like that.
That's
It's great
right.
to sing and please people with that. It's an interpretive art form. This is actually
And
a writing.
you feel
This is a
good.
writing art form.
You feel
Yeah.
good making that crowd laugh.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, giving it to them. I have a good friend who came up with a great idea. She said, you want to be up there. She's not even a comedian, but she had this sense. You want to be kind of embracing the audience. It's an act of giving. I really think that's
What
true.
is embracing it? Comedy?
Yes.
I do think it's giving.
It is.
I
It's
think
a-
at the beginning
yeah.
you go in it to take because you want to be loved. Please love me. Please like me.
Yeah.
Please, but
Yeah.
then all of a sudden you're like, I'm going to give them that.
Yeah,
and then you get it
That's
back.
the fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah. We all agree.
Wait, can I
For
say,
the first and last time in this hour.
all right,
I'm glad we got that out of the way.
Can I say I want to say your credits, just so that we will seem like we're a real podcast. We have real actors. Okay, ready, Carrie?
Yes.
He was on Girls.
Yeah.
Adeem, a Pakistani, am I correct?
A Pakistani cabbie. An
Okay.
incompetent
And
Pakistani
you
cabbie.
do you kill the woman?
Spoiler alert. It's
Oh, okay.
4 years ago, but I don't want to give it away.
Okay.
Don't give it away.
He
Yeah.
does hit an old woman.
Yeah.
All right. Boardwalk
With a
Empire.
car. I did not strike
No,
with my
with
hand.
the car.
Yes.
You hit her. Oh, Boardwalk Empire.
Yes.
Pinky Rabinowitz.
Yes.
I love that show.
Yeah.
How many of those episodes did you
I was
do?
in the ultimate and the penultimate episode. So
Really?
so it was a recurring character, but then they ended the damn series. So that was sad.
sucks.
Yeah, because it was a very fun role. Super fun. Yeah.
How-
A bad guy, a Jewish gangster.
You got to
Yeah.
see that there's a
Yeah.
video where you're choking someone.
In fact, that's a friend of mine. That
Really?
actor. Yeah. In fact, his
How
dad.
did that work out?
Yeah, that was just total coincidence. Yeah.
That's
Seriously.
great.
That was a fun scene and a weird thing because this guy Steve Rosenfield, who has this American Comedy Institute, he teaches this amazing workshop and he's an author about comedy. So I took his workshop a bunch, and his son happens to be an actor. And then when I got cast and saw the script, I saw that in the scene I choked this guy. So I'm close with Steve, and I said, "Listen, I gotta just apologize in advance. You're not gonna like this scene where I choke your son with a necktie." But we had a great time doing it.
It's not. It looks really real. I couldn't watch it. I thought you're going to kill him.
Well, ask Steven.
Because I couldn't watch it because I thought I can't watch someone be killed. It's weird. Like I can watch killer shows where the people die and they do reenactments, but I can't watch drama where they kill someone. I just can't watch it. Why is that?
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest when he killed Nurse Ratched. I enjoyed that.
Wait, he killed her?
He didn't kill her.
He choked the shit out of her. You don't remember that?
He doesn't kill her, though.
He doesn't kill her, but she was ready to die.
Yeah.
Her eyes bugged
really
out.
holding. That's how this was. What do you think about when you're choking? Are you method or what are you?
Oh, by the way, is that cool? The red light, is that good? It was
Yeah,
blue.
That's good.
Oh,
The
red
red's
is good. Okay.
I like that you're paying attention. Though.
No,
That
I'm
would
trying-
suck if.
Yeah,
this
it's like
wasn't
when
being
it's like
That's a professional, Patty. That's a professional.
It's
I like
like
that.
after the bar mitzvah, and then the lens cap was on the whole time. So that's dating. But yeah, no, I'm not method. In fact,
You're not
I have
what?
no method.
Oh,
no, you asked
method.
my method as an actor.
Oh.
No, I have no method in anything I do.
So when
I
you're
just,
choking,
I kibitz.
You're
I
not
just,
thinking
I'm
about
putzing
anything while
around.
you're choking.
You're not thinking about killing your husband.
No, I'm just into it. I'm just in it. I'm choking him. But of course, in any of those violent scenes, it's the victim. When you're an actor, it's the victim who's controlling the action.
Why is that?
So that's how you have to do it to make it safe. So Ben, the actor who's getting choked, he's actually controlling it. So he's doing something like this, where the actual pressure is just on his hand, and he's doing all the movement.
I didn't know that. I didn't know how it
anytime
works.
on the stage.
Yeah, what do you want to kill the guy?
Well, I mean, I didn't know how it worked.
No, but in the stage thing, also, if I'm
Well,
gonna
we could do it.
like, let me. Can I grab your hand? But grab my hand. Grab my hand, and now you move your head in your hand.
Oh my God!
See, she's doing it all.
I like that.
Yeah. So, okay, now you pull my hair. Both.
Which ones?
Oh, boy. Yeah.
So that's how it works. So you don't have to think about anything like you have to go through someone I want to kill, and now I'm going to think about that.
Oh,
when
you
I'm
mean like,
choking.
yeah. No, I think.
You just get in the scene and
I
do
just
it.
do it. I intuit it.
I got
I think, yeah.
I don't
Okay.
think it's that hard to get angry for a second.
Well, for you, Harry. Okay, I have a
Is there
question.
something we need to talk about?
Lena Dunham, what
Yes.
is she like?
She
People
was in-
hate her? People
No,
love her?
she
What's the deal?
She was incredible, and I will tell you, one of the most amazing moments on set. We were shooting that scene on the street in Williamsburg, where I live, and where the show takes place, and where it's about that neighborhood. So this was like 2014, June, July. She's like the queen of that whole scene, of the
Right,
hipster
right.
scene. So the attention that she got from people walking by was intense, and she was, what was she at the time, 25, 26?
Right.
She was just so cool about it because she stayed focused. It was her show where she's the star, the writer, and
That's kind
it's
of
her
unbelievable
show.
for such a
She
young
stays
girl.
cool about it, and with a lot of class and warmth, would respond and say, "Hey," if someone yelled out to her, and get right back to work. I was just really impressed.
And was she nice to you?
She was super nice. When I had that first scene in the cab, we were shooting that at night. It was an overnight, middle of the night, 2 or 3 a.m. shooting.
God.
I said, when I got there, she made a point of just greeting me, even though I had a pretty small part, but just welcoming me to the set and the show. She was just classy as hell.
I don't know why people
Yeah.
hate her. Like, people hate her on
Well-
Twitter.
Well, you
and
know, a
I-
lot of people hate you.
But she's so
She's
likable.
Yeah,
She's
I know.
adorable.
I know she is.
I think there's.
She's very vulnerable. Like, she's always naked, and I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
that
like
was groundbreaking. That idea of
a
nudity
chubby
on
girl naked.
Yeah, nudity that didn't have to be kind of always erotic or always tantalizing. It was just real. But look, the hatred. Where does that come from? Like, a lot of people get that who are super successful. Like Amy Schumer gets that now. She was talking about that on Howard Stern the other day. That she just takes and she has a great response to it. Also, she says, "I don't have anything against the trolls. The people trolling me. You know, I send them love, and that's it. It's
they're
so
miserable.
She doesn't fight
mature.
with them, right?
You know what it is?
Yeah.
Here's what I think. The people who are trolling, they're always saying mean things, right?
Yes.
I think they're just miserable with themselves, or I think they're way too cowards to do what they really want to do.
Right.
So they're forced to be in a life that they don't really like, so they envy. You know, they're jealous of
Yeah, yeah.
somebody like Amy Schumer or, you know, somebody's success.
Yeah, get out there and do it yourself.
Yeah,
You
stop
know-
being a troll, you loser.
Yeah. Yeah.
What she said, yeah.
No, what the hell was I also going to say? Yeah, there's that thing of, apart from the idea that they're just miserable, that troll is miserable and a horrible person who's frustrated with their life, there's another element to it, which is, I know as a comedian my whole life, when something is said or I see something, the kind of reflex in my brain is, how am I going to make that funny? I think that troll instinct, if someone has a certain success or a certain thing coming out, that instinct to kind of say something satirical or critical about it, it's related to that. It's more mean-spirited, but there is just that natural thing, I think, to react to stuff.
Oh, to pull it down, you mean?
To pull it down, but also just to crack on it, just to make a joke about it.
Right.
You know what? I do think sometimes they're making a joke and they're not really being mean because...
well, look, you grew up in a world of sarcasm. Every sitcom that you've ever watched growing up, every sitcom today, it's all a snap, a snap, a snap, a snap, a snap. It's all a sarcastic snap.
Right.
So we are conditioned. So when someone says something to you, you come back at them with a sarcastic.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, can I just point something out that I just did? Maybe some of the audience saw it. I have a
Please.
friend, Drew Valance, who's a very fine actor, and he
Name dropper.
He's you can see him in Bryant Park as Puck in Midsummer Night's Dream coming up, and he's also directing the show. So that's a little plug for my friend Drew. But he and I we have coffee in the mornings, and we both sort of noticed that if you're having coffee or something, and then you have a burp, but you're in public, there's this move that I just did it. That's why I'm commenting. It's this.
Oh, that is gross.
So it kind of puffs up, and then
I think it's going to be smelly.
And then you blow it. That's the unconscious thing. You don't want to. You fill
release
up and
the
then
smell.
you
Then
blow
which
it. You blow
way
it
do
that
you
way.
go
You
if
blow
I'm
it
in the
away
middle?
from. That's a.
So I'm going to have to go your way.
No,
because
if you're in the
I
middle,
love
blow
her.
down. Blow down.
I'll blow down.
I don't know.
I never have gas coming out that way.
I'm going to
All
blame
my
the coffee.
gas
Oh, I see.
goes
I see.
the other way.
I see. Yeah,
Okay,
there's
we
not a
don't-
lot to do with that.
You got to leave the room. 'Cause that will beat the shit out of you.
By the way, I just want to point out that the way I just plugged my friend Drew and his upcoming Midsummer Night's Dream,
Yes.
I'm going to be just a beast about that while I'm here. I hope that's not too annoying. If it is, just tell me to turn it
No,
down.
you
I
can
love
do whatever
plugging
you-
people's stuff.
I think that's great. Okay, wait. I'm asking you more things. Okay, Boardwalk Empire.
Yes.
Pinky Rabinowitz.
Pinky Rabinowitz.
Wait a minute. Who's the guy? Fucking
Nucky.
Nucky.
Knuckle.
What's
Nucky.
his name?
Nucky, yeah. Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi.
Oh,
Buscemi or Buscemi?
Well, I always thought it was
Buscemi,
Buscemi, but it's
Buscemi.
not. It's
It's
Buscemi.
Buscemi?
Yeah, if
Oh,
you
it's
see how it's
Buscemi.
But I you know what?
love
Don't
him.
trust it. He was also just amazing. We had
Really?
a middle of the night shoot. Sat down with everybody in the tent to have our lunch at like 3 or 4 a.m. Shooting a big shoot 'em up scene with cars and all that. And he was just cool, down to earth, welcoming,
that scene
friendly.
Where everybody's getting shot.
Exactly.
That is
I
a
love
very scary.
Buscemi.
Yeah.
I love him too. But
He's
you know,
amazing.
can I say this about that show? Buscemi always seems to me like
you want. I know
I
what
want
you're
him
going
to
say.
be funny.
You wanted
Why-
more Pinky
I-
Rabinowitz.
I
That's what you were about to say.
That's what I meant. Yeah. No, I couldn't get on board with him being this big mob guy with all this power. First of all, when they showed him in his undershirt with the whore girlfriend, you're like, come on, you didn't lift a couple of weight. He's like the kid everyone's gonna fucking beat up.
But isn't
like,
that
that's
more
the guy-
realistic?
That
That's
is more
really these guys are
realistic.
schlubs. The mafia guys are schlubs.
But
That's
to be that skinny and scrawny and
Yeah, but that makes it. I think that makes it.
I agree. It's a little bit of a Napoleon thing. He's
I don't
compensating.
know. I could
The
never.
fact that he has crooked teeth in Hollywood,
I
and
love the
I
crooked
love
teeth.
the crooked teeth, and the fact that he's in everything and he doesn't change those.
You know who else had the crooked teeth? Who's one of my famous boyfriends. Well, he's not really my boyfriend in my head. Sam, what's his name? Who was married to Jessica Lange?
Shepard.
Shepard.
Oh,
Sam Shepard was
love
the
him.
hottest, and he had those fucked up,
He did.
discolored teeth, and
They
one
were
going
all
this
like
way.
this.
I didn't
They were
know
all
that. I never
fucked up,
noticed that.
and
Huh.
he was the most. He was
He
an
was so
alcoholic.
sexy.
That's probably why we thought he was sexy.
I didn't
No, he
know.
was
I
so
didn't know
sexy.
any of that.
Oh yeah,
all
that's
his
why
roles,
Jessica Lange and
all
him.
his roles were great.
He was
He-
incredible in Bloodline. I don't know if you saw
I didn't
that.
see
that
Bloodline.
Netflix. He was
Is he
amazing.
a bad guy in that?
He's a dad. I guess there is a bad guy element to it, but he's married to Sissy Spacek. He's incredible in that. He's just
He's
an
great
amazing
in that,
actor.
and he's so he's a man's
writer, of
man.
course.
It's like
yeah.
that's what we like.
And
I
also
don't know,
he's
he's
real.
a woman's man, not a man's man.
Well, I mean, he's like he rides horses for real. He rides like he used to ride
He's
horses
hot.
in movie. Yeah, he's hot. He's got
He's
like
hot.
he's got the good hair.
Yeah.
He's got the
He doesn't get pedicures.
Yeah, he's like all wrinkled. He didn't do this shit to his face. He's got the craggly wrinkle. You know, are you gonna get your face fixed?
He left. What's wrong with it?
He left.
He left us recently.
He
Sam
did
Shepard.
die.
He was one
He
of them.
died.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
died,
It's
but
kinda
he was
sad.
he was like an incredible writer. He wrote a lot of
The
movies.
those plays he wrote. He
Yeah,
wrote
True West.
What's the one?
Buried
True
Child.
West. Oh my God! And what's that other one?
Romeo
Buried
and
Child is
Juliet.
So weird.
You know what I
Romeo and
loved him
Juliet.
in?
What?
Baby
Boom.
Boom.
I loved him in Baby Boom.
Baby
too.
Boom made me fall in love with him.
I fucking was so in love with him. Remember when Diane Keaton falls backward? It's a girls' movie. You wouldn't understand.
Didn't see that.
Diane Keaton falls. You like when she sees him and he kisses her and she fucking falls down. He was so sexy. But then, at the end, he died kind of. He didn't have Jessica Lange anymore. He kind of drank a lot. And the crazy one who was his girlfriend was around. Patti Smith,
Did he ever have kids?
Yeah, he had kids with Jessica Lange.
Jesus, this is
They get money.
It's
a lot. I know a lot more about or alleged stuff about Sam Shepard than
Well,
I do.
I read this thing. It
Yeah.
was in the New York Times Magazine section
Wow.
about him. So anyway,
What did he die of? He died of cancer?
I don't know.
I think it was cancer or something. But he did drink a lot.
I had nothing
so.
to do with it. I do not know.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
By the way, can I just
Please go.
repeat how happy I am to be here with you guys? This is just a lot of fun. Go on. Okay.
Yes, please. Well, we're very happy. Blue Bloods.
Blue Bloods.
My sister-in-law will be so fucking happy.
Yes, people love that show.
She loves Blue
Yes.
Bloods. I haven't seen it, I have to be honest, but because it's like a religious show, right?
Are you trying to flatter me? How you haven't seen anything I've been
No,
in? I
I
appreciate it.
saw Boardwalk Empire.
It's very religious. It's a Hasidic show. It takes place in Williamsburg. It's about a rabbi who solves crime.
You're a Jew in a. Oh yeah.
He's called Columbo. No, it's a.
What's your character in the Blue Bloods?
In
Are
Blue
there
Bloods,
any
I was a red
non-Jews?
herring. In my family, no.
No, are
What
there
were you
any
gonna say?
non-Jews in the show?
In the Blue Bloods?
Yeah.
In the Blue Bloods, it's there's a token Gentile in every episode, and then we kill him. I have to admit, we get rid of him. No, So that one I was a red herring. Again, that's a spoiler.
What
but
does
it's
that
an
mean?
old,
You're a red
A red
herring?
herring in a mystery is like the guy that the writer makes you think that's the guy who did it, but he didn't do it. A red herring. It's like a false lead to keep the reader and the viewer kind of.
Right.
Oh, maybe he did it. He didn't do it. So. But
I
I was a very fun red herring little role.
You look different in everything. Like, you look different in
you.
every picture. You look different. Like the picture I put up on Facebook
Oh,
of you.
that's a favorite. That was a
is
favorite
the fucking
character.
funniest picture. Who is that?
That was an Armenian mobster in a version of Mozart's Marriage of Figaro that we put on off Broadway in 2016 and
Wait a minute,
2017.
so that was an
That was an
opera.
opera. Yeah, and it was
You dressed like that.
Yes, and it was a great production. That they set the Marriage of Figaro in contemporary Beverly Hills, and it became a story about migrant workers from Mexico being exploited by their sort of Trump-like boss. And it really worked. The writing was fantastic, and it was called Figaro 90210, and it was on
that's so funny.
it was off Broadway in 2016 and 2017. So yeah, that was super fun. It was a role in the original. He's not Armenian, but in this version, people had updated
Did you have
characters.
to talk with an Armenian accent?
I did not. I sang. I didn't talk.
Did you
And
sing with an Armenian
I
accent?
didn't. In fact, I talked to my teacher about that, my voice teacher, because he actually is Armenian, and I happen to, just for reasons I don't know, have a bunch of close Armenian friends. So we did talk about maybe putting a little Armenian inflection in some of the English. This was sung in English. But in the end, it's hard enough when you're singing to be understood in English, and then when you're throwing an accent on top of it, it's a little overkill.
What about,
Yeah.
you can do the accents. Pakistani?
Yeah,
What's your
yeah.
Pakistani accent?
Actually, interestingly, this was something to Lena Dunham's credit, again, that when I got there and we were just running the lines before shooting, she said, you know what, let's not do it with an accent. Let's just not, because that would be
Really?
a cliche, and I love that she made that choice. Because so many people, you've seen it in so much comedy and in so many things where there's the cabbie with that accent, with like the Apu 7-Eleven. Yeah, it's like enough with that. So when she said, and in the audition I did a little bit of that accent, and they hired me, but then she said, let's do it without the accent. So this was
Maybe
your
you did
hearing
it so bad. that she
Exactly.
was
I
just
was
like,
I was hoping you
"Oh
I was hoping you would say
God,
that.
just stop with the accent.
Yeah.
And the hairdresser I like, because that you also did. He did a hairdresser guy
In
and
high
you're-
maintenance.
and you're not
Yeah.
doing like him super gay.
In fact, that was a choice also at the audition. That was an interesting audition because that was one of those auditions where they did not, again, to the credit of the Ben and Katya who made High Maintenance, to their credit, they did not specify gender or anything about or age about that character. It just said Russian hairdresser.
That's it.
So that was it. In fact, did they even specify Russian? I think it just said hairdresser, but I brought in a Russian guy because I have these, there's this whole community of Jewish barbers from the former Soviet Union, from Tashkent.
Let me just add,
Yeah.
they can't cut hair to save their life.
I disagree. Look.
Destroyed my son's hair over and over.
So
Really?
so you say you're blaming a whole country on that one barber?
Why
that's,
can't she?
That's the definition of racism. I'm not
Gary's
holding.
racist.
I've gone to every chair. So
it's
the one
three.
guy horrible.
So 3 out of
second guy
40,000.
That's right.
Maybe that's just a shitty barber shop.
Maybe
Did you
it's a
consider
pattern.
that?
Maybe it's a pattern. If 3 are bad, all the rest
Is
are
this in
too.
Long Island? No, not casting aspersions, but where is this? Is it next to the
Long
Annie's?
Island, Long
It's next to
Island.
Annie's. Okay.
I've been to 3 Indian doctors, and all of them were horrible, so I don't go to Indian doctors anymore.
Jesus.
Is that racist?
Yes.
No, I went to an Indian doctor.
Yes,
He was
that's-
great. He did
you
my
did fine.
thyroid.
He did?
Tested my. He goes,
Oh.
Adam doesn't like it because his girlfriend was Indian.
well, this Indian doctor, they supposedly I have a nodule.
Let me check. Lean back.
Oh, my God, he can
Say,
look.
I was pre-med in the 80s.
No, you weren't.
Lean back. I was.
So anyway, I have a nodule, and he goes, "I'm going to do a biopsy on it." I go, "Okay." So he.
I was going to answer something else, which you
Okay.
asked earlier. You said, "Are you going to get your face fixed?"
Yes.
Thank you. But here's
What's wrong with it?
That's what I said.
didn't mean
But
my
here's what I
face
want to say. I will. I don't rule
Please
out the
don't.
possibility. No, I don't rule out the possibility of having little things done. But let me explain why. Because my sister, Rachel Herschenfeld of Wellesley Dermatology in Wellesley, Mass.
Oh.
Fantastic dermatologist.
Oh, excuse
and
me.
If you're in the Boston area, pop in for
Does
a
she
little
do
this, a little
Botox.
that.
What does she do?
Botox.
Botox.
Now, would you do
all that
Botox?
stuff. Nah.
Just like right
I know.
here.
I know. She's Jesus. I do have those two things. She did. No, I had a little vein, like a little.
And she
I don't
zapped it.
drink a lot. She zapped it like
it's
years
gone.
ago, and then I had a planter's wart, which she
On your
froze for me.
face?
No,
You get that on your
Oh, a
On
plantar
my balls.
on his
Where
foot.
else?
On his foot, you
I
idiot.
thought somebody was.
I had a balls wart. That's where warts go. No, on the sole of my foot. What is?
I used to get
Oh, is
plantar
balls wart?
warts.
Is that what you're laughing at?
I think you can get warts on your balls.
Wow.
Correct, Carrie?
That's a different
I guess that's a
wart
different kind
type
of wart. Yeah.
That's a
Jesus.
genital
I
wart.
I swore that I would not go genital on this podcast.
Well,
I
too
did it.
bad.
Now
because
with Patty.
God.
We're going
Patty
there.
can't wait
apologize.
to go genital.
I want to know everybody's genitalia and sex
Oh,
lives. That's all I care about.
Anyway,
should've been done
Wellesley, Rachel Herschenfeld, MD.
Wow, he really is
Okay,
giving
I'm
blood.
plugging.
And what can she do for me? Would she do like?
You don't
things
need
in here?
anything
I
done.
mean, are you?
She
You
doesn't.
need
She's
nothing.
75.
You're
I need
gorgeous.
you
Would you
done.
think she was
Ugh.
75?
Neither of you need anything.
Look,
I'm
anything
not getting
done.
anything done because
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
No, there's
I
nothing
would
to
get
be
it all
done.
done if I had the money.
I don't want to
What, do
get
you want
it.
to be more beautiful? You want to be more glowing, more
I understand.
smoother,
You
younger,
gotta age
hotter?
with-
Come on.
Gotta,
Look at Adam laugh. He knows he's like it's like one guy looking at another guy going, "Wow, this
you'd
is."
have to
thick
just
shit
age
right
and
here.
take it like a man. Age and take it like
I
a man.
like
Yes.
men
Wait,
who
wait.
look old. I like a man who's bald, who doesn't do shit to his bald head. Leave your fucking bald
All
head
right,
bald.
go. Deb, my
Yes.
husband right there.
Yes.
He's all yours.
My fiance is bald. The only thing is you got to do, well, which is what you do, short around the sides.
Keep it
when
on
I
the
first
side.
went out with
Yes, you
Kevin,
don't want
he had
the
long around
monk's
the side. Oh my
tonsure.
God.
That's not
I
good,
go, you got to get your
Yeah,
fucking
that's
hair
not good.
cut.
Unless you live in a cloister. That's a
it.
problem.
That
Yeah, I had
is-
a.
that bothers
I
me.
had a. I don't
What, you
have
had
a
a-
hair story, but I just want to say that Astor
Please.
Barbers, Alex, off Tuesdays, a fantastic barber.
And he's Russian?
Astor Barber place. He's one of these guys from.
I have
from
to
Russia.
go and bring
he's
my
great.
kid.
Alex, he's off on Tuesdays.
Is he
On
gay
my
or
phone-
straight?
What you
Gay or
do-
straight, the guy?
This
What
is
you
him.
do-
This is
hold
his
on,
work.
But that's big fucking deal. I can
Yes.
buzz your head.
Well,
You
yes,
gotta
but he
go
does.
to Alex.
Adin,
I want to see him do a fade.
He does do a fade. Let me explain why. Adin paltara. One and a half. Adin paltara. See, he doesn't just do it a
Okay,
single.
it doesn't look it.
Yeah.
I want to bring my kid in
I'm
there.
bringing Alex
Does
in
he
here
trim
next
your
time.
beard?
No,
he
I'm
trims your
serious.
beard?
Occasionally, he actually for an audition the other day, I wanted to be really super close shaved, so he gave me one of those
Oh,
hot
with the hot
shaves.
towel.
Yes,
I wouldn't trust
love
anyone.
That.
I don't want
it's
anyone.
such a cool experience. Like you're leaning back and someone's got a and you got it's trust.
I'm not the only one that thinks Russian barbers suck.
Stop with the generalization. Stop painting with a broad brush. It's not becoming. You're far too intelligent. You're not just saying.
She's not that intelligent.
Don't
Neither
paint
of
with a
us
broad
are.
brush.
Neither of us are.
A lot
if
of
you've had
comedians-
20,000 on okay, you're right on stage.
A lot of
it's
comedians
ethnic.
talk about the Russian barber.
That's another reason not to talk about it.
No, I don't talk about it.
Oh, okay.
I don't
She's
talk
talking
about
about
it
it
on
here.
stage.
On behalf of
They,
Russia.
so a
make
lot
any-
of jokes are from reality. Am I?
But you don't ever make a snap judgment like you have a couple of things go the
Yeah,
wrong way
and then
you
you
go,
say
okay,
they're
maybe
all-
not that.
Right.
You ever do that?
Yes, but
you stop
it's all about
yourself.
awareness. You want to be
Okay.
aware, and I'm very annoying about this very point. In fact, I have this fight with my girl. I don't like that phrase.
Okay, what do you
it's- Politically correct to me is a put down of just being aware of the fact that people are individuals, and they should be treated and judged based on themselves, not on their group.
But
That's
you don't
it.
think
it's
that
as simple
there's
as that.
cultural
No, I
things?
reject this. I reject
You
this.
reject cultural.
Yes.
I
Except
I
very
disagree.
superficial characteristics, like the fact that I talk like this. That's
So then we shouldn't lump all Jews being very funny?
Absolutely not. They're not all funny.
Most of
Me
them
and my
are.
family. No, they're
Almost
not.
all
No,
of them
because
are.
you hang out with comedians.
Aren't they
This is
all
a perfect
funny?
case in point.
Aren't
You
they
hang
all
out with
funny?
Jewish comedians.
Which ones?
All the Jewish
The Jewish guys are
they're
funny.
fucking funny.
But what about the Hasidic Jews are not funny?
Was
They're
Golda
I-
Meir,
I-
was Golda Meir funny? Do you know who that was?
She could have been funny. I know Golda Meir. Why wouldn't I know Golda
I'm
Meir?
not-
What am
I'm
I,
not that
stupid?
old.
Okay, I went to a state college, snazzy pants.
No, I'm
but
not.
I know who Golda Meir
I love
is.
state colleges.
Where did you go to school? I get a feeling.
Harvard.
I have
I'm
gold.
sorry.
You did, you motherfucker! I knew it.
I have gold in my
sensed it
ear.
From you. She's got gold in her ear.
Listen to me.
She's got gold in her rear.
I like
There you
that.
go.
I like that.
So wait, you went to Harvard. Oh, so
Yeah.
you went to Harvard
Holy
Drama
shit.
School. That's what we had last. Do you
No,
know
Yale.
Frank Liotti?
Yale,
Oh,
he went to Yale.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're
fuck
having
him.
all
No, I
smart
don't care.
guys.
No, it's not. Again, you're painting with a broad brush. Harvard means you're smart. No.
Well, you have
wait,
to
that
get
doesn't
in.
make
Fucking
sense.
does.
You
That was a
fucking have to
joke.
get in.
Okay.
Okay, and tell me.
Moving on.
Tell me that there aren't a lot of Asians in Harvard.
Sorry, I'm double parked.
Tell me there are a lot of smart Asians. Come on.
Tell me that there are or not.
Tell me there are a lot of smart. You can't say that there are a lot of smart Asians.
Right, but that's not talking about Asians as a group. That's talking about Asians who get into Harvard as a group. They're smart.
Right.
Get my
Right.
point?
You're right.
To
yes.
then say, oh, look
I
at all
agree.
these. If I left
Harvard Asians.
If I left Harvard and said, my God, these Asians are smart. All Asians are smart. That would just not be the right. Oh, I'll
Okay.
give you my math teacher. I'm going to give a plug for my 6th grade math teacher. Mr. Kahan. He was fantastic. 7th grade.
Kahan?
Yeah, but this is what he
Can I
said.
give a plug to my English teacher
Please.
in middle
No.
school, Mrs.
She's not
Huzarowitz?
Is
was
she
my,
still alive?
Mrs.
I don't
what?
even, Mrs. Huzarowitz.
You're what grade?
I was in 7th grade.
She's
That
dead.
was 50 years ago. But let me just say.
Huzarowitz. That is even
she used
Jewier than
She
Herschenfeld.
used to wear these braids all up above her head like this, like crazy fucking braids. And this one guy who was the hot guy in the school used to get all the girls pregnant. He said, one day he said,
Where
would
did
you
he get all the
please-
girls pregnant?
seventh-
Some girl.
She mumbles that under her breath. He used to get all the girls pregnant
In 7th grade. The
In
girl-
7th grade were pregnant?
The girl would wear a big sweater, and that was his girlfriend. But anyway, and he broke up with
Wow.
her. But anyway, she had all these buns on her head with all the braids, and he said to her, Mrs. Zarowitz, one day would you take your hair down for us? And we were like, yeah. And she said, no. And then one fucking day, she shows up at school, and she had her hair, because of the braids, all the way down to the floor.
Oh, my
It was
God.
like, we were like,
That's
it
disturbing.
was almost like we
That's
saw her as a
creepy.
sexual human being, like with her hair down. But anyway, I interrupted you.
That
Go
was
ahead.
No,
creepy.
but that
That's
must have been.
creepy.
Yeah, that sounds like a horror movie. a
She
little
was my
bit.
favorite teacher I ever had in my
Until
whole
her
life.
hair came
Mrs.
down.
Huzarowitz, the best teacher. Okay, go
Until
ahead.
her hair came
What were you
down.
gonna say?
A
I
memoir of
interrupted you.
Mrs. Huzarowitz.
Huzarowitz.
Who
Huzarowitz.
is Zarowitz?
Who's that? I don't know.
Huzowitz. Oh, what were you going to say? I interrupted
Oh,
you.
I have no idea. Anyone?
It was
Teacher.
something politically correct.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Mr.
but-
Kahan. No, I was
yeah,
just going to
Mr.
make a
Kahan.
point about making false deductions based on a little bit of evidence. He was saying, like, there's a frog. He jumps 2 feet. You cut off one of his legs, and you tell him to jump again, and then he jumps a little less. And then by the time you cut off the 4 legs and you say jump, he doesn't jump at all. And what you deduce from that is that when you cut his legs off, then he becomes deaf.
Wait a minute. I'm not understanding that. I'm saying.
That's what he said. He said the frog didn't become deaf. It's the same thing of deducing like that, like from these 3
Oh,
barbers
I'm
that
getting
Russians
it now.
are bad
Okay, that
barbers.
took me a second.
It's not a great story or analogy. And goodbye. I'm double parked.
Adam liked it. Adam loved it. Carrie's still thinking about it. Do you like it?
I'm comparing it to the Giving Tree. How he took
Oh,
the
that's a
apple.
great.
What's the Giving
that's a
Tree?
great-
I forgot it.
Shel
Shel Silverstein.
That's a great book.
I forgot the Giving Tree. What
I
happened?
used to read that to my kids. The guy that comes over, the kid comes over. He wants the apples. He takes the apples.
Apples.
Then the branches to make
Branches.
a boat.
And
This
then
is
what
like-
happens?
Then he cuts it down to
Cuts
make a
it down.
house.
And then what
House.
happens? What's the end?
And then the tree's like,
Cut to the end.
what? Can I give you?
The creek grew. I can't give you anything else. You took everything, you motherfucker.
And then that's the end?
No,
Then he-
and then the old man sits on the stump and dies.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
He fucking dies at the end? What the hell kind
But
of a
it
story
is,
is
it's
that for a
beautiful.
kid?
It's a great story. My kids didn't get it, but
I don't get it. You explained it. How about Shel Silverstein with the circle and it's like a little piece falls out? You know that story?
No.
The missing pieces or whatever it's called? Okay, forget. Nobody
Oh,
gives it.
let me give you another plug. My friend Kristen Baluch, who makes children's books. Incredible stuff. Kristen
Do you fucking
Baluch.
just know everybody? Like,
No,
what's
I have
the
a
deal?
lot of. I have friends. I know people. No, Kristen Baluch, and she teaches. If anyone's interested in children's books or illustrating or creating children's books, a lot of people have a children's book idea.
Can I
But
just
unless
say-
you're like Madonna, you don't actually do it.
Can I tell
But,
you
yeah,
something?
you have a good idea.
When
for
I
it.
went to college, I went to college to be a children's book illustrator.
Yeah, well, that's what
because
she does.
Maurice Sendak
Yeah.
was my hero.
He's amazing, yeah.
And I wanted to be the next Maurice Sendak.
Yeah.
But then I got a teacher who tried to fuck me, and then there was another art teacher who was fucking the other girl. So
Destroyed
I
your-
had to get out of the art department because
ruined
they were
your-
all a bunch of fucking cocksuckers fucking everybody and making girls blow them. I didn't blow anybody.
Jesus.
Potsdam College. Be careful.
Wow.
I should say the guy's name right now.
No,
but
don't.
I'm not going to do it.
No, you could if you don't have a non-disclosure agreement.
His
you-
first name is Joe. If you
Well,
go to
that narrows
Potsdam.
it down.
All right.
That narrows
Anyway.
it down.
Anyway, oh my God, we've covered some dirty
Okay, well, I'm
territory.
gonna do,
Oh yeah,
wait, more
stuff.
shows.
More
Okay.
shows.
Jesus, how many pages? You've been on
I got up at
every...
5 o'clock this
So
morning.
you must be SAG and AFTRA.
Oh, I'm sad. I'm sad.
Oh,
I'm
that's
sad.
So wait, you were a drama major?
No. I did a lot of theater in college. We
Your
didn't
father
actually have
wanted
a
you to
major.
be a doctor?
No. I internalized that thing in the family. There were a lot of doctors, and I thought, oh, that's what adults do. But it wasn't really sort of something organic for me. But I took some steps down that road.
But what'd you study? What were you going to do?
I was
when
an
you went
English major. I was a pre-med. I took some different languages. I didn't know what I was doing. I was
You weren't
unfocused.
sure. Now,
I
what
was
kind
unsure.
of, if you
A jack of
were
all
to
trades.
fulfill that doctor thing, what kind of a doctor were you leaning towards?
Tits. Love them.
Plastic
Love.
surgery.
No, it was not
You
tits.
know,
no, it was
I've
bones.
found that
I like
Jewish
bones.
men love tits.
No,
Okay,
I'm
they're
not. I'm
making-
actually interestingly. I'm not a. Mom, turn off the thing. I'm not a.
Tip man?
That's not. I mean, I like them, but I'm more of a. I'm more into the.
Ass man.
The booty.
You're an ass
That's the
man.
Well,
new
I-
thing now.
that's
Everyone
new?
likes the booty these
No,
days.
no, I-
No, he's always been. How old are you?
you
Old.
know,
How
All right,
he
well,
doesn't
he's
say.
not that old, but
I'm old
my
enough to like a
husband's an
booty.
ass man, too.
He is.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Go.
weird because
Not yours?
my fiance is an ass man, but I have
No ass.
no ass. But for some reason, he likes it.
It's not quantity.
He just
Quality.
likes the ass of the thing. Anyway,
I'll
Oh,
keep
my God.
mouth shut. Go.
go ahead. Okay, so what about?
Go ahead,
what's-
go ahead.
A lot of these I don't know what they are.
That's my career. I specialize in that. Shows that you don't know what they are, and then the ones that you do know what they are, they're the ones you haven't seen. That's
What's
my.
the Blacklist?
The Blacklist, it's a show with James Spader.
But
It's
I've
about
heard
spies.
that.
That's a
I've
big
heard
show.
that.
Good guys, bad
Yes,
guys.
James
Were
Yes.
you a
Spader.
bad guy?
I was in this one, weirdly. I was a good guy.
You
I
know-
was an FBI guy.
Let's
yeah.
say something about
My name
James
was Tom
Spader.
Campbell, by the way. I look very Tom Campbell, right?
I
They
like
must have shaved you for that.
I did. It
like-
was a
You
shaved
look
role.
completely
exactly.
different. Yeah.
I like James Spader
That's
from
Yes.
back in the day when
Oh,
he was
Sex,
in
Lies, and
like,
Videotape.
all
Oh,
of
my
them.
God.
He
all
was
of
so
them.
cute, and then became very.
He was always a
uncute.
rotten kid. Yeah, well, he got fat like all of us.
Hey, ho.
But hold on a second. Every time I turn the TV on,
Don't look
he's
to
on
Fat
another
shaming.
series. He's
Why
on-
do I keep looking at him like he's Ed McMahon?
You
What
know
am I
why?
doing?
Because you're the only guy in the room, sort of, except for Adam. So you keep looking for backup from a
acceptance, right,
guy.
or whatever.
You're trying to get the backup from the two bitches who are attacking you.
No,
Oh
but
my
James Spader.
Go ahead.
He
Go ahead.
every time I turn the TV on, he's on another series. He's always this
Boston
guy has
Legal,
had-
he did.
He's had a career.
Yes.
His career is. He's got a great career. That's all I have to say.
Let me say
But he
something.
just went from so cute to not that cute.
You know what? I saw him in person. I did not have scenes with him in the show.
Was he good
But
looking?
about a month later,
You
I
just
saw
did
him.
the burp
I did the
again.
burp. That was even worse.
That
That
was
one was like
bad.
an emergency.
What's
Sorry.
giving you the burp?
Sorry.
The coffee?
It's the coffee. It's the excitement, honestly. No, it's the seltzer. Coffee and seltzer.
Go on.
Yeah.
So I ran into him. I was killing time on weirdly around Christmas, around 60th and Madison, just
Is
a
he
weird
nice?
neighborhood. And I went into a store to kill time. I'm coming out of the store. It's fancy. I don't know.
Kind of a store,
One of those.
Bergdorf's?
Yeah, it wasn't
Bergdorf.
Bergdorf's. It was across the street. It was one of those Italian brands.
You have a lot of money?
No, but I went in to look, and I'm coming out, and in the door, I hold the door, and it's James Spader with a kid, presumably his kid.
What'd you say?
I said, "Hey, I'm a big fan. I love you, and I was just on your show."
Get out.
So, because it was an episode like like a month earlier, and it hadn't aired yet, and I didn't have a scene with him, so I could have just been anybody. But he was very friendly. He said, "Oh, that's cool, great.
Everyone,
Leave me alone."
Everyone that you know is nice. Come on, who do you hate?
And he probably thought you shopped there. So
Oh yeah.
he gave you the time of day.
That's
Who
funny.
are the shitheads you've worked with? Come on, we want to
Wait,
get down to the bottom of it.
oh.
Who's an asshole? Let's
Don't
go.
tell it. Don't tell it.
This is the section of the show where we burn bridges. Now play that sound cue of the burning bridge. Wait, let me
Anybody?
think.
That's probably
No,
why
let me
you
think.
work so much. You're so nice.
No. Let me
There's
think.
got to be
Someone who's
someone
a
who was
dick.
an asshole.
There were some. I definitely had some encounters where there was the frisson, the sort of personality clash in like the opera world. There was a lot of that.
well,
like,
they're divas.
Where people, and like among conductors or whatever. Like, I had a thing with a conductor in Turin, in Italy. This guy sort of made a dickish joke while I had to sing something off stage in this Wagner opera. So like, The chorus is on stage, the orchestra's blaring away, and I have an off stage. This is Tristan and Isolde. I had an off stage cry, like something I had to sing, and he was commenting, but not just in a constructive way, in a snarky way about the fact that he couldn't hear me. Which, going back to what we said about Pavarotti, the idea in that business is to sing loud. Mm-hmm. So I was off stage behind it. Yeah, so he made some sort of comment that I think even got some snickers. So I, in the wrong approach, instead of just rolling with it, I went down to his dressing room after the rehearsal and knocked on the door.
I like that about you.
Oh, it's not helpful for a career, but I went down and knocked on his door, and I said to him,
"What'd you say?"
Maestro.
Maestro.
Yeah, you literally have to call him that.
That reminds me of fucking Seinfeld, Maestro.
You literally have to call him.
You have to call him Maestro? That's hilarious.
Yeah. And what did you say?
I punched him in the dick.
No, I didn't. What'd you say?
Good. That's how I handle things.
What'd you say?
I said to him, Maestro, I think you owe me an apology.
You did. I love
did.
that.
It's just the worst thing to say. It's so obnoxious. And no conductor. And he looked at me very quizzically, and then I don't even remember how it went down.
Did he say I'm sorry?
No, but it was just it was bad judgment on my part to do
that. He had him fired.
But then he didn't have me fired. But I think he said something about the fact that he could have me fired. I think that's exactly where he went. But then a few years later, I'm working at another opera house in Italy again. Same conductor. He doesn't remember a damn thing about it, and we get on like gangbusters.
Really?
Yeah. So
Maybe he was just being funny.
Yeah, I don't. He probably. I was a little touchy.
I remember him. He was probably drinking.
Could be a power thing, though.
I was touchy.
All right. Well, okay, I'm going. Calm down. Why does this say pones?
Pones. Well, pones is to pone someone. I don't know what that means. I don't know why it says that. Pone. Pone stars. I was on porn.
Pones?
I think it's porn. Are you referring to when I used to work in porn?
She can't read her own handwriting.
What about poves?
This girl.
POVs? Boners. Yes, I was in a porn called Boners. It was about a teenager who has uncontrolled and frankly embarrassing boners. Again, it was a Jewish thing, and it was at the Seder table, and he has to recite the 4 questions, and he gets a boner at that moment, and it just makes an embarrassing situation even more embarrassing.
He studied improv with Viola Spolin. Is that her name, Spolin?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
What was I going to say?
Oof,
okay, so that
pones.
was
Wait, let me see what you wrote. I want to see what you actually meant when you said
Madam
pones.
Secretary.
Madam Secretary.
Madam Secretary with Tia Leone, who was married to the sex addict.
Pones.
Uh-huh.
What the hell show was that? Pones. Power. That's what that is.
Oh, Power.
With
I love
50
that you can
Cent.
read my handwriting.
Yeah.
With 50 Cent?
Yeah, Curtis Jackson is the creator and star of this fantastic show that's
now, what's
super
he like?
popular. He was awesome, and he was so cool, and talk about like cool, because the way when he said hi at the table read, when I went up to him just to shake his hand.
What did he do? Give you the black shake?
No, he didn't. He just went like this. No. It was just like this. He was already looking over, like he was seeing who else was waiting to shake his hand. But it was friendly, but he was so like, okay, I'm going to shake his hand because he wasn't. It was not dickish. He was very. Also, he did the super welcome thing to everybody before the table read. Just look. These guys know how to welcome people between like.
But didn't he kill people? I mean, I don't understand.
No, I don't know.
He didn't kill people?
I know. I think he was shot.
He was shot like 6 times, but isn't that because he shot other people?
I don't know.
Isn't that how it works?
Well, it hasn't been proven in a court of law because he's still out there.
No, I don't know. I don't know. But that show is super popular. Oh, can I tell you a funny story?
Yes, please.
This is a residual story.
Right now.
So I got a residual check for. By the way, these TV jobs, you can
make a living off this shit or no?
You can make a living, but
the residuals coming in.
But let's listen to what the residual situation is. It all depends on how many people do pay-per-view later for the thing, or how many people watch it online. That's what determines how much you get. So after I do that,
you don't get money off the immediate thing.
You do. You get paid for your day of work.
Chunk.
You get paid for your day of work, and then depending on how popular the thing is, like I did some voice for a movie called The Purge. Election Day. The Purge apparently is a super popular horror thing where like a day out of the year in this sort of dystopic America, a day in the year all laws are suspended so people can do what the fuck they want. They can just murder and everything.
I remember it.
I just did some voiceover for that, and I got a residual check the other day that was like, almost as much as the day of work, because people will download the hell out of this. I think
really?
Angry
It's
Teens.
great.
I don't know who's watching this thing, but
it's great. It is Angry Teens.
Oh, but here's what I was going to say.
Us.
I got a check from girls, a residual check, where the gross, because this episode at that point hadn't been watched a lot. I got the residual check. The gross was like 16 cents, and then the net was 0. But because of their accounting practice, they actually sent me the check for 0. Yeah. No, I got an actual check. I have it saved. It's a check for zero. But then on the flip side, just yesterday I got a check from Power, that show which I did 2 years ago. People watch the hell out of that
How
show.
much
That
did
is
you get
popular.
that for?
It was a few $100, but a few $100 a few years later for something that that's
Yeah,
great.
that's good.
That's like
Nice.
it's
That's
a very
nice.
nice thing.
That's
Yeah.
a ring for your girlfriend.
And it's also 10% to my agent, Kathy Olson. Fantastic. We love you.
He just went right
Went
by
to the
the
plug.
ring
Who's
for
your
your
agent?
girlfriend.
Wait, what did
I
you say?
need
Rosie?
an
She said
agent.
that's a
Who-
ring
Oh, a
for
ring.
your girlfriend.
I literally
A ring.
didn't hear
Get
that. I do not.
Did
I'm
you
not
notice
good with
how
the
he
ring.
blocked that out, Carrie? A ring
Fucking
for your
I have to
guys,
look at
they
the
have
man again.
selective
I-
Yeah, he
hearing.
turned around to Adam for backup.
Selective hearing. Who's your agent? Because I need.
So my manager, Kathy Olson, she's
Oh, she's
fantastic.
a
I'll introduce you.
manager.
Yeah, she's a manager.
What about an agent?
Actually, I'm in the process of how should we say, looking for a booking agent because I've been doing a ton of comedy dates and setting it up all on my own, and I'm finally at the point where I'm like, I want a booking agent
There's
for
only
the
like four
comedy.
of them.
But what
Right.
an acting like? Are you with APA?
No.
William Morris?
My manager, Kathy. She's my
That's
acting
it?
person.
You don't
Yeah,
have
she
to go
submits
to
me
any.
for all this
Oh,
stuff.
that's so
Yeah,
great.
What's her
she's
last
great.
name?
Olson.
Oh,
I need her.
All right, we'll
we
introduce
both
you.
do. Okay, so let me ask you this. You're successful.
Thank you.
We're not.
Oh, come on. You guys are successful. This is a fantastic setup. This is a great show.
Well, I mean,
listened.
yeah, but you make money, we don't. How
Right.
did you...
By the way, let me just compliment. How
Yes.
do you say her last name? DiCicco?
Oh, I love her.
Regina DiCicco.
Regina DiCicco. Last week, your episode, freaking hilarious. And I just met her because I was doing a show here at the Comic
I
Strip
just
with
saw the
her a month
picture
ago.
with you with
We
her.
did a show. That's how we met. And we did a show for an organization called Stand Up Girls. It's a new organization here in New York devoted to teaching girls to do stand-up comedy, and they asked me to be in their inaugural show because I
Wow.
identify as a teen girl. And
I
it
know, I
was,
did think it was weird you were on that show.
yeah.
That is
I didn't
weird.
ask any questions. I just did the gig. It was
Well,
very
you kind
funny.
of look girlish.
Thank you. Again, I appreciate that.
No, that's not true.
But so she's hilarious, Regina. That's how I know you guys because I
Yes.
just follow her now. I saw
I
your podcast.
love her.
She's awesome.
I've been telling
Yeah.
Patty, let's get
Carrie-
her back. Let's get her back.
I wanna- I wanna
do- I wanna do
I'm
more
totally
shows
in love
with
with
her,
her.
and I love her voice.
I love her voice.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this. 'cause
Ask
this
away.
is what Carrie and I need to know. So you graduate from school, you move
Yeah.
to the city, you're doing stand-up.
Yeah.
How do you get on the TV shows?
So I was doing theater before I was doing.
Oh, that does help.
Well, so here's what happened. My first professional acting gigs in New York in the 90s were the following. I was in some summer stock theater, like musical theater, like out in at Gateway Playhouse out in Bellport.
Who'd you play?
I was Big Six, a gangster in City of Angels,
I
which was a
saw
Broadway
that.
show in '90. Yeah, you saw that? Maybe they did
Did you
it
see
again.
him?
I did see
I think it was
you in that.
okay. I played a big gangster. I was Big Six, and then I had a little sidekick. It was like the little guy. It's that funny sidekick. It was a fun part. And then they had me back one summer for Phantom, some production of Phantom. But then meanwhile, through a personal contact, I got an audition at ABC for a soap. So I had 2 episodes on that show, Loving, which doesn't exist anymore.
yeah.
Yeah, I was an orderly in a dream sequence on a soap. That's the lowest rung on the TV
Wish
ladder.
I paid for that.
Jesus, it was
Yeah, don't
not
you
a
stop
lot.
to
It was
get
like
scaled,
$200
don't you?
bucks. I don't know what it
Oh,
was back then.
really?
Yeah.
But you weren't SAG or after?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, so now you
Oh.
they'd have to pay you.
And I had another TV job in that era also. I played, there was a show on Sci-Fi, before Sci-Fi was misspelled, back when it was spelled SCIFI.
Wait a minute.
The Sci-Fi
Yes,
channel is
yes,
now
yes.
SYFY.
Oh, yeah, it is.
By the way,
like
I was
that.
just on the show Happy on Sci-Fi, on the new
Yes,
Sci-Fi.
that was
yeah,
one
that's
of my
a fun
things.
show.
Oh, maybe it
But
wasn't.
anyway, on Sci-Fi, the original Sci-Fi, I was on a show called FTL News. FTL stood for Faster Than
Standard
Light.
for you went to
I know.
Harvard?
English major, yeah. It was a long time ago.
It's standard for.
FTL stood yeah.
Standard for. That's really political.
Faster
He's
than-
making fun of me? How
Wait.
dare he?
Anyway, I gotta get the car. Thanks for having me, guys.
Wait,
No.
I do want to point out I love Carrie's jacket. Can I say that? And
It's
then go
awesome.
ahead.
It's bedazzled. We love it. Anyway,
Did you bedazzle or it came bedazzled?
I sat there all night, Patty, with my stun gun, whatever you call it.
I bet
stun
I know
gun.
where you got this.
Macy's.
On your cruise. Oh, no.
I got it from
Oh,
Macy's.
you worked a cruise recently, huh?
Why
I
am I
did
so
not.
dizzy?
Oh,
I
okay.
did not. I went on
Oh,
a
nice,
cruise with
nice.
the fam, and I wanted to kill myself after day 2. Go.
Don't do that. We love you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
She likes
the
being
world
around
needs
people,
you.
though.
Oh, so you can catch some of this show on YouTube still. It doesn't exist anymore. It was called Faster Than Light News, and I was Yaakov Cantor, the Prime Minister of Israel, like 230 years in the future. That was my
That's
part. But
great.
it was all green screen. The entire show was just in front of a green screen, and then they would like put it was like
So
news
weird.
flashes from the future, 3 minutes long. shoved in between TV shows.
You have this niche where you're all these like
Ethnic
these
thug.
ethnic
Yeah.
guys.
Do you
That's
want
it.
to? Do you want to eventually land a solid role and be that guy forever, or no?
Yes, I want to
do.
I want to do that, and I've had some roles that have occurred. They are generally thug roles, but it would be I really like working, so I would love to be doing a series regular, and but I do get some good comedy material out of this kind of stuff.
Like
I
a
do. Did you see?
comedic.
I just did another burp. That one I
Yeah.
swallowed.
I did.
'cause
I'm watching it. I was trying to pretend I didn't see
Don't
it.
Listen,
don't have seltzer.
That one went
That's my-
back into
Yeah, that
you.
one was.
That was like, you know, this
So
is really
shameful.
gross about a fart, though. Can I just? I
Oh.
was thinking this. Should I not talk about it? You ever wear really tight pants when you fart? And it doesn't go out where it's supposed to. It goes forward.
Oh, like in a sweatsuit?
Because
Oh,
you're wearing
like in a
jeans,
wetsuit.
There's no
Oh.
room for the fart to go out in the back. So it goes forward. Has this ever happened to you? And then it goes up your vagina. You had this happen.
I have never had
Oh,
that happen.
it happens to
So
me all
you've
the
actually,
time.
you've
It
actually,
happened to me
how
on the way
big is your
down here.
vagina?
I don't know, but it
First
goes,
of all,
it goes,
so
the
you
fart
blew up
goes-
your vagina.
The fart went right up into my vagina.
I can say
this
that has
show
not happened to me.
always
That hasn't
does.
happened
No, it
to
has
you?
not happened to me. I've had a few farts go up my urethra. I'll admit that, just because we're friends,
I've
and just
never-
because this is only between
But
us.
I've never had that happen where it goes
Aren't you?
up.
You don't wear pants really tight.
I
Where-
do, unfortunately. I have
Maybe
no
you don't
choice.
fart though. You don't have.
Look, my husband's watching.
What? I like the way you can't fart in front of your husband. Like you think that that's not.
Okay, my husband.
My third date, I blew it out.
My husband has never. I've never seen a shit stain in his underwear. Thank God, ever. He has never farted or any kind of foul smell come from him.
Are you kidding
He
me?
is so meticulous. He won't let. He works for the Long Island Railroad, and he will not let any of the guys fart in his truck. He lays the law down. He's like, if you got, I'll pull over wherever we are. You get out.
Are you shitting me?
He hates it.
That's-
So when my kids were little,
Yeah.
they would fart at the dining room, like we would be eating.
funny.
And they'd be like, ah! And he'd be like, stop it! I'm like, oh my,
Am I
they're
kidding me?
fucking 3 years old.
See, we're Irish. It's
He's
big,
like, it's gross. I'm
it's
like, all right.
big fart humor with the Irish people. Like
Really?
that's our thing. But see, like that is a cultural thing, I believe.
Ugh, I think
That
it's
farts,
disgusting.
my mother used to fart at the table. My father, my
No,
brother.
I find it
There
gross.
goes the duck. There goes the duck. And
But
we
again,
were little,
that's-
we're like the duck, the duck.
It's
You
a
know,
s-
but it
it's-
was
it's a
him
small
going,
sample.
like farting. It's so stupid. We just thought it was hilarious.
The other day
It's,
I was somewhere. And
Okay, he doesn't like.
Oh,
He went
I
to
was-
work. He doesn't like talking about
no,
farts.
no,
Okay,
I
look.
love it.
It's gross. If your girlfriend blew one out in front of you.
Oh,
would you-
she doesn't do that.
I know, but I'm
She
just saying,
doesn't
it's-
do that?
Isn't that
Not in front of
disgu-
me. No,
But isn't
no,
that
no.
disgusting?
Wait a
That-
minute. I have to ask Adam
No,
something.
do you
Adam,
take
get
a
on the mic.
shit in front of your boyfriend too?
I shut the door, but sometimes I talk to him through
It's
the
the
door.
same thing.
I talk to him through the door.
Check.
Adam, fart in front of your girlfriend or no?
I do not know.
Good.
You
Adam.
don't?
Thank
I try-
God.
no, I
That's
try
the
to-
only one.
Your girlfriend never did either?
I'm a big proponent of always be dating. That's
That's
kind
a
of
great-
That's
the good name for your
philosophy.
book. Are you writing
I'm
that
pretty
book?
sure somebody already probably
No,
wrote.
Google always
I
be
didn't.
dating.
I didn't come up with this, but
Oh, that's
but
good.
I'm just a big I'm into it. I try to promote always be dating. So I don't. I try not to fart. I mean, obviously, when you're together a long time, it could
It's
happen.
gross.
tell you.
I've never. I don't. No.
But I had a particularly gassy girl. The last woman I was with was very gassy.
Don't
She was
say her
Indian.
name.
She was Indian. She
Okay,
ate
are
all
you
that
gonna-
Indian
Chickpeas.
food.
The chickpeas.
It's that. It's
Chickpeas
that
make
curry.
you gassy.
Well, it probably did have. She was vegetarian, very strict
Right,
vegetarian.
so
and-
that makes
and
you gassy.
Her diet did promote.
So did that bother you,
Gaseous
or
things.
she had to hold it in then for you?
No, I mean, if I don't want you to explode and hold. I mean,
That's
I'm
right.
whatever. But I mean, you could probably try to be a little more.
Oh, I
Here's
just.
how against farting I am.
Oh my God,
Well,
I'm so pro
if
farting.
the kids do it, I laugh. But I was 7 months pregnant. We were coming back from Manhattan, and I had to. When you're pregnant, you get gas,
Yes.
and I held it
Really?
in. I held it in from the Williamsburg Bridge
Go
to
ahead.
Bethpage.
Go
I
ahead.
thought I was giving birth. That's how bad the pain was.
What exit was that? Like 38?
That was like 44.
Walk us through it.
Past Syosset.
Yeah, 44.
Holy,
I-
that is.
And then
How
as
was
soon as he
traffic?
got out of the car, I was like,
How was the traffic?
it was terrible.
Was
I
it
kept
a
saying,
sunny
to him,
day?
hurry up
Was
because
it-
I have to fart.
Wow.
And he's like, we're almost there. He didn't say, go ahead, fart, let it go.
Are you kidding me? I went with Kevin when I first weekend away at a gig. I was with him for 3 days. I held my farts in for 3 days. And the second he dropped me off at my house, it was all fucking hell broke loose. I thought I had cancer I was in so much pain.
Patty.
I was bent over in pain. I needed to. I'm not that girl. If I have to be able
But
to.
wait a minute. What if they smell really bad? Doesn't that gross him out?
Oh, if it's then I'll go in the. I run in the other room. You can hear it. I come back. I roll the windows down. I go, quick, roll the window down. You know, it's right.
I'm guilty of that when we were on long drives, and I immediately will roll the window, even preemptively. Like
You
if I
tell
know it's
them
coming,
ahead of time.
I roll the window.
Yes.
So everyone,
So you
my
do
girlfriend and the
fart for your
dogs,
girlfriend?
they know what's coming when I roll
You
the
never
windows
blame
down.
it on the dog?
No, we don't do that. No.
Well, you
no,
can
our
tell
dogs,
the difference between a human
You
fart and a
can.
dog
In fact,
fart.
one of our dogs had and has a sort of ongoing complicated gastric situation, and so he was. I mean, those were
vicious.
deadly.
Deadly.
But
Dog farts.
But love is love.
Here's the
That's
thing,
what I'm
though.
going to say.
There's
Love is love.
There's a study shown that when you breathe in someone's ass air,
Oh boy.
you
Are we continuing
actually
with this?
We're gonna stop in a
ingest-
minute.
You ingest part of their fecal.
That's a study. What, is that like?
Yeah, I
That's
don't know
a,
about that.
Let's Google it.
no, please.
Okay,
no.
look
Let's.
it up.
Okay.
Harry's going to look that
Back
up.
to the list. Come on,
Well,
enough
then
with the
we'll go back
gas.
to the list. You know what I want to know? Okay, comic.
Yes. Sort of sad childhood, but honestly, yeah, I did.
You
You
had a sad childhood?
Absolutely, yeah.
Why were you
What?
sad? Look
I
at
was
us.
kind
We're
of.
both
I was.
kisses.
Look, I love how you
We're
were so
both like, what?
concerned.
What?
Yeah.
We
If
don't like
either-
when they're sad.
Yeah. I wish either of my parents would have had that reaction you just said. What? What?
What did we do wrong?
No.
Why
No.
were you sad?
That was
Wait.
no. Why was I sad? No,
Now you've just
Do I
opened
wanna
up
go
Were
too
you
into
the
much.
youngest?
Yes.
You were the youngest.
I was the youngest of three. There was
So
there
you were
was some
spoiled.
No, and that, again with the cliche.
You had
with
two
the-
older
it's
sisters.
just-
Two older sisters.
No, I had two older
Two old-
siblings,
older
and there was
successful siblings.
some let's say unpleasantness from the siblings that did not go checked by the parents because
Right.
they had their distractions and their issues. And let me just say this:
When you say unpleasant,
let
you
me
mean
just-
they
Beat
bullied
the
you?
shit out of you.
there was bullying. But let me just say this:
Go ahead.
my parents did great. They're great.
we're
So
not
I just
saying
need
they
to
didn't.
say that
All right,
here
fine.
for just under instructions from my lawyer. I have to
siblings.
say that.
The
no,
siblings
no,
are
they
pricks. They're
No, not at
How
all.
are they now? You like them now?
Look, all I'm going to say is Rachel Herschenfeld, dermatologist, Wellesley. Go.
But she was mean to you when you were
no,
little.
well, not in any pronounced
you were
way.
sad. Don't
No, it was-
backpedal now. You
Oh,
were
here's-
sad. You were sad, Ethan.
I had.
She messed you up.
No. Here, let me just say this.
Okay, go ahead.
She, no, I actually had depression as a kid. I'm going to open up. I was actually depressed as
I
a
was
little kid.
too.
What
Yeah.
was the age gap?
Just a year. We were all very close in age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I had depression when I was a kid
Yeah.
too. I remember.
So I know, I
feeling
think a lot of
so
comedians-
depressed.
I wanted
No,
to
you're
kill
not kidding,
myself.
right? I
I'm
understand,
serious.
yeah.
I went to a
So-
therapist in 6th grade.
Yeah.
I was the only one. My father's like, I hope one day you'll get your life together. So I felt like going, fuck you, you're the alcoholic. Why do you think I'm depressed, you piece of shit? But I didn't say that because I didn't understand
but
that.
that would have
then.
been healthy.
Yeah.
Say it now.
Yeah.
Pretend I'm him,
She
and you're
just
sitting. No, I'm
did.
kidding.
He's
She
dead.
Just, she
He's
says it every
dead.
show.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I do say it every
She's
show.
getting
Wow,
it.
someone in Massachusetts is calling the hell out of me,
They want
and
their
maybe it's
money
the
back.
dermatologist.
Okay, let's see if anyone's asking you any questions. Then we'll get back to your sad
Oh, that would be
life.
cool.
Yeah, but no, I remember being depressed as a kid. I
Yeah.
remember always
How old?
feeling like I was
Yeah,
like
how old?
elementary school.
Yeah, me too.
Fourth,
me too.
fifth
Same
grade.
age, 8 years old. I remember distinctly, like not
Just
being,
nothing
just
making
a lot of
me
crying,
happy.
and yeah, just.
I always feeling I was gonna die. It was terrible.
Were you guys suicidal or anything?
No, I wasn't suicidal, but I was always afraid of gonna die. And I would tell my parents, I'd be like, "I think I'm gonna die. I think I have a disease." They're like, "Go to bed."
Oh, that's yeah.
I'm like, "But I feel it. Go to bed." Fucking never would listen to me.
All right, I'm looking at the comments.
No.
Here we go.
Oh,
That giving tree story has me stumped. That's
that's
Brian
good.
Plado.
That's
Hi,
Brian.
a good.
Deaf frogs get a lot of gigs in the swamp. Okay, these are people at least listening.
People are cracking jokes.
Yeah, and
when
they're
you
bad
hunt
ones.
frogs, you gig them. Patty, you were saying that school left a bad taste in some people's mouths. What was that about? This is the problem when you read the.
Because that guy
Because
impregnated
this guy
everybody.
was pregnating everybody, getting everybody pregnant.
Oh yeah, that
Seventh
did leave.
grade.
That's true. That guy, he took my friend out into the woods and made her blow him. Did I tell you?
I can't.
And he couldn't come. He couldn't get hard.
The most
Anyway.
amazing part of that story is that there were woods next to your school. I grew up
He
in New York. I don't know what is what. Where,
He drove. I went to school up in Potsdam. He drove far into the
college.
woods to take the girl.
What? This was a teacher?
It was bad.
You know, we had two teachers that were perverts, and then they caught one and he got arrested. And then
Really?
Yeah. But the girl was egging him on the whole time, and then
I like that Carrie blames the girl. How old was the girl? 15?
listen, the teacher says 2 words to me. I'm like, "Fuck you."
Well, see, I'm
No,
telling
we were in 8th grade. So
girls aren't like that. I'm
8th
taking another piece
grade,
of gum.
whatever. Anyway, the girl was always hanging out with him, always hanging out with him, always hanging out with him, always every day. She was always with him. Why was she always with him?
He
No,
was a
but that
father
doesn't-
figure. He's an authority
Right.
figure.
Anyway, he got arrested. Then he had a massive heart attack. I think he died.
That's terrible. I would like to just
Please.
a plug
Want to go
for.
back to the fart story?
I'd like to. No, thanks. I wanted to make a plug for a pervy teacher in my school. No, I'm kidding. No, no. I wanted to say that that idea. I've heard that recently. A sort of the most famous diva who's at the Met now, this Russian soprano. She made a comment like just what you made. Also, if someone came near me, I would just if some man made some inappropriate thing to me, I'd tell him to fuck off. Which. That's her, and that's you.
Right, but
there's
not
so many
all
women
girls
who
are.
are
I get
not
it.
that. So that's why to then say, why didn't she just say no? Because
But here's
people
the-
have different personalities.
Here's what I don't
That's why.
understand.
I agree.
Here's what I don't understand. Your child is staying after school with the teacher. There's something creepy about this teacher. Letters going back. You have to be involved in your child's life. My kid can't shit without, fart without me being there.
I know some parents though they're not paying. My mother worked. My father worked. Nobody was
I work.
home.
I know. I got her phone. As soon as I get the fucking password, I'm going to find out what she's doing. I thought I had the password because, look,
She changed it on you.
no, it says Touch ID requires your password, too.
Yeah.
So now when I get home, I'm either going to smash this in a million pieces
Carrie.
or I'm going to hide it for like 2 months. You can't play with me.
I like it. Yeah, you're not messing
Carrie's
around.
tough.
No,
I think
you're
her
not messing up.
password is mommy. How guilty are you going to feel?
She's dead when I get home. First of all, I had no one to talk to on the way. I was alone on the LIE.
I know. I was calling
I was
you
alone
repeatedly.
for an hour with myself.
Yeah, you don't like that. Carrie has to be.
I have to be on the phone with
Carrie needs a lot
somebody.
of input.
It's a good time to
And
write.
output.
Isn't that a good time to write jokes?
Good time
Driving.
to talk to Jesus and God.
Well, that too, of
God.
course. Yeah.
Are you
I won't say
religious?
Jesus.
Jewish?
I'm not. I'm an atheist. Yeah.
Are you?
Lifelong.
I'm
Lifelong.
I'm
yeah.
not an atheist, but I'm
You
close
don't believe
to
in
it.
God, you
Yeah,
said.
I know, but
Well, that's an atheist.
No, I don't not believe in God. I'm
That's-
agnostic.
Wait a
yeah,
minute.
that is different.
What
yeah.
does that mean?
That means it could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
It means
I
yeah.
go
Okay.
across the bridge. I go. There's this one place. Every time I drive across the bridge, I go. There could be God because it's so beautiful. When my kid was born, that's right. There could be God, but is there God? I don't know. Did I ever tell you this? Okay, I saw the show on Arthur Miller because he was married to Marilyn Monroe. I was shallow. That's probably the reason I watched it. But he wrote this play, and the play was about. He says people say that God created man, but in his play, he just kind of discussed the theme of that really people create God.
Right.
People create God because it's so fucking scary to be alive. So you have to think, I'm going to see him when I die.
That
It's
makes
gonna-
no sense. You were created by something.
Who says?
You're here.
But
So, in other words, your daughter's born, but you don't exist. You made her.
yeah, but
Something
it
created
doesn't
you.
necessarily mean. I'm just saying that it could be.
I'm praying for
that
Patty right
people
now that God forgives
created
her.
God. People created God because they need
No,
God.
maybe people created the stories about heaven and hell and all that bullshit. But there is a God. There is a creator.
I'm not saying there's not a God. I'm just
We
saying,
have it all. This is interesting, actually. We have an agnostic, an atheist, and a believer. We got it all. We have it all here. This is amazing.
Adam, what are you?
This is like we got.
Probably another agnostic.
Oh,
So
okay.
we have the whole
You're on the
team here.
fence. Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
So you're dead. You're dead. Like no, there is no God.
For me, yeah, and that's one of the earliest.
Now, why is that?
thoughts.
I'm surprised
It's just-
because Jewish people
So
are very
how do you
Jewish.
think you
no,
got here?
many Jews are atheists. Again,
They
many
are?
Jews. Just to scratch the surface.
How do you?
Again, yeah.
So then you shouldn't even call yourself Jewish.
We don't have to go into that whole discussion, but actually, no, it's more than a religion.
Jewish is a culture.
There's culture. There's
Okay,
people.
all right,
There's
I
a
got it.
tribe. There's all that. Yeah.
All right,
So,
so let's just say
are we sticking with the theology? Let's go
Yes,
back to the
why
farts. No, go.
one quick second. How do you think you got here? What do you think happened?
The Q.
The Big Bang Theory? That what?
The Q to 86th Street.
Seriously.
The
Ethan!
the L to the Q. No, how did I get here? The big. No. Okay, you're right, Jesus. Okay, moving on. You're
I
right.
didn't say Jesus. I said, how do you think you got here? It doesn't have to be Jesus.
No,
Jesus could have been one of the guys like Buddha and everybody else, one of the masters that understood it
Yeah.
on a different level.
Right.
And Gandhi and whatever.
Yeah.
They understood the whole universe and the whole everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think?
I think.
Do you think there's other life form on other planet?
Life on other planets? I don't know. But
That's
it's
how
a big
I
it's a
feel.
big
It's like,
universe.
there could be, maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't know.
I would have always said no, definitely not. But the universe is big, so
Huge.
Yeah, it's big. Have you looked at this thing? It's huge.
Why are we
Huge.
the only ones?
I have a question.
Please.
Would you get married?
Oof. Oh my God, you're going.
You don't want to have a baby?
Wow, look at this. We went from
Farts to God to
to
marriage?
marriage and babies and rings and I don't know. One of my earliest memories, as long as we're going deep into the
Okay.
memory banks, one of my very earliest memories is saying to my mother, and I remember saying it, I don't have to get married, do I? That was one of my earliest memories. I was probably 3. And I remember.
really?
So funny.
Yes, and I remember why it happened because.
Your parents had a shit marriage.
No, that wasn't what I don't think that was what was going on. What was going on was that
There was another
one of my dad's friends had a wife who I thought was really hot. And I remember somehow having this weird thought at the age of 3 that, like, if I'm going to get married, I got to marry that one. But that's going to cause all kinds of problems if I go down that route. It's going to cause problems in like all the relationships. So I don't have to get. That's my memory of what I was.
Because you were afraid that.
I don't know. I don't know. That
You were afraid that you couldn't be faithful.
maybe. God.
At 3, you're thinking ahead. That's what I like about you.
I was a real Lothario. I was
What
a
about
real
I just almost
coxman.
swallowed the fucking
Me and my
gum.
diaper.
What about the girlfriend? Does she want to get married? I hope she's not
She
listening.
young?
She's
got to be younger, 20 years younger, right?
She's not 20 years younger.
15.
She's 18.
15. How old is she?
Look, let me just put it this way.
All right, you're not answering the question. You're dodging it.
She'll be 27. In
4 years.
in 8 years. No, none of that is true. I did my mic. No, none of that is true. She's
Okay.
actually a little bit older than I am. So
Is
yeah.
she?
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
And so maybe she doesn't want to get married then at this point.
I'm going to leave that between. Let's leave that as a discussion between you and my girlfriend. So I don't.
We'll book her next week.
Perfect. Yeah.
Does she want
You know,
kids? if
marriage
she's-
isn't all what it's cracked out to be. Let's be
Really,
honest.
really. According to all the movies and books, it seems incredible.
Look,
And TV. It's,
I just think if you're not going to have kids, there's no reason to get married.
I think that's right. I think
listen,
that's right.
I
And
think
do you
there is
really
a
want to
reason.
have kids in this world today? It's a bad world.
Well,
If you don't get married, here's what happens. They die. The house
wait,
goes
who
to
dies?
whoever the person.
Oh,
Your
unwed person.
significant other.
Oh,
The house goes to
Oh.
the significant other's family because
I
that's
see.
the next of kin, and you're shit out of luck on a sidewalk.
No, but
with
not if
No,
you-
that's you.
That is me. That's why I'm coming from that point of view.
I hope he's not watching this. That she only wants to marry you because you want the
Kevin.
house.
come on,
No.
Kevin. No, you write a will. You don't have to get married.
Write
You
a
can
will,
write a
give it
will
to
that
your
gives
niece and
stuff to
nephew.
people. I just burped that way again. I'm so embarrassed. But yeah,
can't
you write
take
a
it
will,
anymore.
and you give. Yeah.
The air's blowing it back this way. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, you write a will, Patty. Make him write a will, and have
he
him,
said he wrote the will.
Here's
but
what
he's
you
like,
do.
I want to see the will.
You write it, and have him sign it at the Chase Bank with the notary.
Oh, I want to give a plug for my friend and attorney who's great at writing wills. His name is Ripley Westmoreland.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
his
just
real
a
name is
porn
James.
star Rip Ripley.
Rip Ripley.
No, Rip is short for Ripley, but his name is James Ripley Westmoreland.
I love it.
Great lawyer, and he wrote my will for me. He's very reasonable, and he's a nice guy.
How much?
Well, what do you have? You have like
How much for a will? Because I went to somebody and they said 600, and I was like,
no,
fuck that.
No, he beat that. I'm not going to tell you what he's going to charge you,
Oh,
but
okay.
I paid less.
Well,
Maybe
you're
it's
his
a friend
friend.
thing. I know, but you're a friend of Rip too.
Well,
All
he
right.
shouldn't
He's
have.
com-
He shouldn't have charged you at all because he's your friend.
Maybe he's going to be pissed that I'm talking about him on the.
Why
on this
would he
podcast.
care? No,
I'm sending
none of
this
his
to
friends
him.
are listening.
By the way, he's also a really good banjo and guitar player. He's good.
Banjo.
Yeah.
We'll have
That's
to have
weird.
him on, and he'll
You
play
should.
for
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
That is weird.
Well, yeah.
All right, go.
I have a question. Now, you seem to... Oh, I wanted to ask you about the picture with Seinfeld. Were
Oh,
you
yeah.
on Seinfeld?
I was on. I had a day shooting on that show, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, because he had live action sequences with Michael Richards with Kramer.
What does that mean,
Where
live?
Kramer. So in between the moments where he's just in the car or at the cafe with the comedian, they actually shot like scripted moments of comedy. So one day they shot a scene where Michael Richards in those episodes plays Crackle, which is the company that's producing the episodes.
Oh, okay.
And he plays a bonkers, very funny, insane office rocker CEO. So the scene that we shot down at the World Trade Center was of us, me, and another guy playing FBI agents, just dragging him out of the office. So Michael Richards is getting dragged out of the building because he's just so insane.
And what are you?
I was one of the FBI agents.
Oh.
And we had fun. It was amazing because Seinfeld was directing. Michael Richards was acting. I had to do a scene with him. And there was a little bit of improv. And then the scene didn't make it into the episode.
Oh.
But it was awesome. I got to spend a day with those two, which was incredible.
And they were both nice to you?
They were
Everybody's nice.
They were very nice. And also, I'll say this. One of the things that was very, very fun. Also, I'm going to stop saying I'll say this. I hate that phrase. Why did I start saying that?
Oh, yeah, I'll say this.
Yeah, I'll say this. It's fun as hell working on any of these shows, and that one in particular, where you're with people who are friends and are colleagues for such a long time, where you're in the presence of people who have that rapport. Yeah. You guys have some of that rapport.
I'm
Of
surprised
course.
because Jerry's usually a douchebag. All right,
No,
anyway,
come
what's
on.
the next
Carrie's
one?
not crazy about it.
No, he was a sweetheart. But also all those.
Well, maybe if I was maybe I might like him better if I was on his show somehow and he treated me like a normal person and not like he was holier than God.
Oh my God! I'll talk to him.
Carrie,
Hold
maybe this
back.
is why
Let me
we're not
hold
as
back.
successful as Ethan because we say horrible things about people.
It's a true story. I'm not making it up. It's a true story. The guy put his hands in my face.
yeah, that was a
fuck
she
out of
didn't
here.
like
The guy's a
him
weirdo.
Maybe it was
at
a
the
dance
summit.
move. That sounds like a dance move.
I do forgive though.
By the way, I just want to say on that,
forgive.
of course, forgiveness.
How long
is,
ago was
yeah.
that? It was like 6
I
years ago.
forgive. I still could
It's
like
6
him.
years
Let
ago.
me just
after
add
this.
one thing here,
Yeah, go ahead.
which is that actually on all of these shows, that's one of the funnest things of spending a day or two on the sets of these shows.
What?
There you have a well-oiled machine of hundreds of people working together. Like if you're at Steiner Studios shooting an episode of Power, there are guys there, the camera, the lights, the props, the costumes, the makeup. It's hundreds of people moving in concert, getting a job done and getting it. It was really fun just to be in the middle of that and to be part of that, to jump in and do that for a few days.
That's cool.
Right.
Well,
I
you
love
know,
that.
Carrie
Yeah.
did that on, what's your show, Carrie?
Kevin Can Wait.
Maybe you saw
Nice.
Carrie's work on Kevin Can Wait.
Oh, yeah. I did not see it, but I want to see it. But who's the comedian who's on that?
Kevin James.
Yes, no, I know Kevin James, but the tall guy who I worked with him at
Oh,
Stand Up
Chris
New York.
Roach.
He's
Chris,
so funny.
he's
Chris,
hilarious, and then he's on that show.
Why
yeah.
are we both forgetting his
Yeah,
name?
Chris
Roach, I said.
Roach. Oh, yeah.
He was
He's
Christopher
awesome.
Brian Roach.
Yeah.
Now he's back to
It's
Chris
very
Roach.
confusing.
Now
I knew
think
that
he's
he was the
Roach.
Brian with the Y. He was, right?
He had a Brian with a Y?
I think. Maybe I'm
I'm
wrong.
not sure.
Okay. You were about to
He's
say.
a good friend of mine, Chris.
Oh,
Chris
cool.
is a great, very funny guy.
Yeah, he's
Wait,
very
I'm looking
funny.
for my other question. Oh, well, I don't know if we should talk about this.
Uh-oh. Well, you talk about
It's
everything
probably
else.
something
This
disgusting.
sounds
You're not a
tough.
fan of Trump's.
Oh,
I am
Jesus.
not a fan of Trump. We should probably not talk about this
I don't
on
know
a
if we.
comedy podcast.
I don't know that we're going to cover any new territory here, but no, I think
Is anyone a fan of Trump's?
not-
There are people who are
not
fans
a lot
of
in
Trump.
New York City. But,
Look, here's the thing.
Oh no! Are you really going to?
I'm going to say one thing so you guys can both shut up.
Oh, Jesus.
If you're not a fan of Trump's, none of these people in power, whoever would have been in power, Hillary, him, any of them, they don't work for us. They're not going to. It's about them.
I think there are better politicians than other politicians.
It's all the same shit.
I think it's not. I think it's not.
Listen, when the lobbyists make the rules and give the money, they should be not allowed to take any money from any companies like Coca-Cola or any of these fucking lobbyists with big money.
I don't disagree with what you're saying right now,
Okay.
but he is a criminal.
Yeah, I believe he is a criminal.
And he,
So was
he doesn't
she.
pay-
They're all disgusting. They're all
Okay. Topic.
yes. But
Thank
let me
you.
just say one thing.
I literally. Now I'm going to have to get in the car. I
Hold
can't
on.
have this discussion.
I don't like any of them.
Okay, good.
Not him,
I-
not her,
noted.
not any of them.
Noted.
I
Okay,
just
well,
believe
all right.
that we
We're gonna
need somebody
stop.
that's a normal person to be
All right,
running the
all
country.
right.
We agree. Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
Yeah.
The only reason
Normal
I brought it
person,
up
yeah.
is I saw your Facebook post, so
Oh,
I
don't
thought,
know what
well,
I
maybe
yeah.
Well, that's a
you
bad
had a lot
thing.
of them.
People, that's what Facebook is really bad for. The people get into fights with people
I
over.
don't get into fights there. I just I shared probably an op-ed from the Times that I thought was
Yeah, you
insightful.
did.
That's all it was. Yeah.
And then people don't go back and forth with you?
No,
If I
don't
put something up,
engage in
forget
that,
it.
yeah.
They, oh my
I
God,
never
they
put
come
any of
after
that
me.
up because it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I
you,
used
you're
to
right.
put
It
it
doesn't
up.
matter because
None of it matters.
I used to put it up and then,
it's the echo chamber that your friends are generally.
yeah,
in
then there are
agreement
the
with you.
same people who agree with you, and then the same people who tell you.
But then you'll lose work. Didn't you lose a job or gig from somebody because you posted something about
no, that
Trump?
wasn't me. No.
Oh, there's my friend Yana on stage. She's very.
Oh, it's
She's
cute.
cute.
It's blonde
She's
on
very
top
cute.
and brown, dark on the
Anyway, it
side.
makes no difference. Anyway, move on.
Moving on.
It just
Well, I don't
doesn't
know.
matter.
I'm just
It doesn't
looking-
matter.
Okay,
It matters. It matters.
So did we go over the childhood? We're done with the childhood.
Oh yeah,
correct?
enough of that. It was.
Okay.
He looks like he came out fine.
Okay,
Yeah,
I think he
it's
is.
all working out.
And who was your hero in stand-up comedy when you were starting up?
Oh,
How
that's
many
a
years
great
are you
question.
doing it now?
Well, so I was doing it a little bit in the late '90s. Then I got really busy with the other stuff, with the opera and stuff. And then about 5 years ago, I started writing and performing again. That was 5 years ago. And then in the last, really 2 years, I've made it my focus. So
Okay.
it's really.
So now you're focused and moving forward.
Yeah, that's
But
what I'm
who do
doing.
you like? Like, who do you like?
I love John Mulaney. Like, to me,
Oh, yeah, my kids are
so
really into
goddamn
him.
smart and funny, and also his improv, like his sketch stuff. Did you see him this
I
week on
didn't see any-
SNL?
no.
Oh my God, it's just
Really?
it's perfection. And also his, that show he did, that Broadway show.
No. With his
hello.
friend.
Jesus Christ.
Who's
it's
the
just
guy you did
perfect.
it with? Do you
Nick,
know him, Carrie?
Nick Kroll,
Oh,
yeah.
Nick Kroll.
Also, I heard the two of them on Terry Gross. Terry Gross, the greatest interviewer, along with Howard Stern on
You
radio.
know, my problem with Terry Gross is I find a lot of times she doesn't laugh when they're being funny. Now,
Oh.
maybe
Oh, I
she
like her
laughed on
laugh.
that one.
Oh.
But I've listened to her on
Yeah, Fresh Air.
Fresh Air. And someone's being like really funny,
Right.
and she goes, okay, and then goes right to the next question.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that could be like one of those things where the person has so much to get to, maybe.
yeah,
but I
maybe,
hear what you're
but
saying, yeah.
why isn't she
But the
laughing?
two of them, but
right? Because you're like performing, and I was like,
Yeah, I
okay.
know. Because
All right, we'll get to the next show.
I think that's because I've had to do morning radio shows, and you're trying to do something a little funny, and they go, okay, and then go to the next thing, and it's like, oh, and then it's very fucking awkward because I thought I was hilarious momentarily, but maybe not.
So
I was,
go ahead.
yeah,
2
John
years.
Mulaney and Nick Kroll were on Terry Gross talking about a new thing they wrote together. Was it a book or a show, whatever it was? But it was just awesome. They're very funny.
but when
other comedians that I really liked as a kid,
Who?
I love Seinfeld. I love his writing. I love Louis C.K. I love his
boy.
writing. Yeah,
I love Louis C.K.
yeah.
too.
I don't like Louis
No.
C.K.
Who
else?
I love Sarah Silverman. I loved Amy
I do love-
Schumer.
okay,
I
yeah.
love.
David
I love,
Tell?
Yeah,
My boy.
yeah. I love a lot of comics and a lot of comedians, a lot of different styles. Yeah.
Right.
What
and
about
they
like
are,
the
they're
old
all
g-
different.
Yeah.
What about like Rodney Dangerfield or any of those guys?
I
Or was
love
that-
Dangerfield.
You were
I
too
watched
young
that.
for that.
I was young for that, but like I just on YouTube now. You watch a set of his one-liners, like
He's
7 minutes.
amazing.
It is awesome. I worked with a guy out at the Comedy Store in L.A. A guy named Adam Hunter, who is like that. That was a guy who blew me away because similarly, a one-liner comic
Yeah.
who just is fast. It's like rapid fire, and you can hear and feel that he has a deep trove of those jokes. He could just keep going.
You
It's
get those
amazing.
guys can get
those
on
guys
a
are-
roll where
yeah.
it's like it just the energy in the room. You're just like,
That was like Joan Rivers, though, too.
Yeah, she was
had that
rapid
rapid
fire.
fire. But
I
here's
loved
the
her.
thing: when you did jokes like that, it was easier to get a writer to write for you because it
Yeah,
was
they're
like,
not personal necessarily to the person.
Right,
Yeah.
it's like
Although
about
with
your wife.
Dangerfield, of course, he then
It was
had
all
that whole
about
kind
persona.
of
a loser. He
but
had
everybody knew how to write for that guy.
Right.
yeah.
You know, to write for me or you.
Well, I think I don't know you guys very well. We just met, but both of you have very strong characters. I feel like you could definitely, if that, I know you guys well. I know you too well already. It's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
No.
You know what I think, Gary? You know what I think?
I love-
we are a little terrifying.
No,
right?
I'm kidding. You're not at all.
That's why when people come
I just
in,
knew you
always
wanted to
go-
hear that.
I always say ahead of time, well, just hey, we're loose, because I think that sometimes, Gary, looking at me, I think maybe we come off very, like coming
See,
after
I
them.
don't really care about a lot of things.
Well, that's great. That's part of your thing. That
I really don't.
you're
I
like you're
just
doing
don't
you,
give a
and you're.
shit.
That's good.
I
That's a
like-
great quality.
Because in the grand scheme of things, it's over in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's you mean we're all going to die?
Yeah. And you know what? You might think it's 100 years from. It could be 100 years from now. It could be 50 years. Could be whatever.
That's true.
But it's over in a second.
I
Yeah.
agree.
No matter how you look at
But
it.
you
So
always
not-
have a good attitude. Like nothing fucking bothers you
It
like
does-
that.
I don't
Everything
care.
bothers me all day long, all night long. I can't sleep. I lay in the bed. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna have no money. I'm gonna live in a box. I can't sleep. And you're like, who gives a fuck? You're like, you don't care.
I don't care.
I love that.
Good
I want to
quality.
be like that.
Doesn't
Good
matter.
quality.
See, that's why when I see people posting on Facebook anything that they post, I'm like, really?
Yeah, that's
What
a
do you
healthy,
mean? Like
that's- yeah.
if they're trying to get a point across to me?
Yeah, and I'm like, what's the? I just don't get
Maybe
it.
because they feel really strongly about it and they can't help themselves.
Yeah, but also if you're trying to actually raise awareness for something that you feel deeply about, or you're trying to raise
That's
money
different.
for it, or you're
That-
trying
no,
to get someone to sign a petition. so,
Right,
yeah.
no, for like cancer, something from
Yeah.
kid, whatever. Yeah, I get it. No,
By
that
the way, cancer schmancer, that's just a government hoax. You think that exists? That's just
No,
a
it
whole,
doesn't.
that's
I
a
know
whole,
that.
that's
It's fake news.
of course, it's fake news. But
Actually,
Yeah,
one of our dogs is just finishing. This is not a joke. Finishing a almost 6-month course of chemo for his lymphoma.
Are you shitting me?
I'm
I
not
didn't know
shitting you.
dogs get chemo.
Yeah,
My
because they get
sister did-
lymphoma. A lot of dogs. I didn't know this either, but one of our dogs got lymphoma, and he did great. He's in total remission.
What kind of dog?
We have 3 dogs. A little one who's a Chihuahua mix, a medium-sized one who's a Shepherd mix, and the big one is a Dober Dane named
Did
Boo.
you get them all
Shout
from,
out to Boo. Let me just say hi, Boo.
Boo-hoo.
wait, my sister did. It was 4,000 for the first round of chemo for her boxer,
Are you shitting me?
and then it didn't take.
Oh,
and
that's-
then
that's-
we did it. She did another round, which is another 4,000. Then he died.
That
Oh
didn't
my
work out
God,
well.
you kidding me?
Yeah, it was horrible. She had to put him down, and she goes, "It was the worst thing I could have ever done, watching his face look at me because he knew."
This is so horrible.
And the look said, "You only spent 8,000 on me, you."
Well, you know-
So the doctor was like, "It's not going to work. If he,
Did I
you know, another 4,000 would have been 12,000, and when does it stop?" And he's going to die. He was only 6. He was a boxer.
I feel like though
He was
people
so
with their
cute.
dogs are so like it's like their kid. They're going to put all their money into it.
Yeah.
Did I tell you the thing about the rabbit? Did I tell
Would
you
you
the
have put
rabbit story?
4,000 into your dog?
I don't have 4,000, so I wouldn't have been. That would have been an easy one. Nah, I don't have it.
Well, that actually is the discussion that the veterinary oncologist has with you when they tell you the bad news that this is lymphoma. He only has 4 untreated. He only has about 4 weeks to live. They're literally opening the door for you to have that exact, because they give you sort of an estimate of what it's going to cost. And many people at that point are like, I wish I could, but I don't have it. Yeah.
Well,
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the perfect time for the GoFundMe page. I would give to that.
Hell yeah. Absolutely.
I would give $100 to that, to somebody's dog.
Would you? Can I just give you the vet's number and you can pay the most?
Carrie's more giving than
It
me. I
sounds
don't know
like-
that I
I'm
would.
very giving.
If I knew
have
the
it, I'll give it to you.
person,
If I have it, you can have it.
By the way, I
don't
feel like I interrupted you when I mentioned
Yeah.
dog
well,
chemo.
there was
I'm sorry.
no, because there was my ex-husband left the rabbit with me. Did I tell you the story where he
Rabbit.
leaves
We
the
were
rabbit?
thinking of getting a rabbit.
And he left the rabbit with me, and Tom and Jenya from Omnipop told me, don't give it the lettuce, just give it pellets. It's better for the rabbit. So even though my ex-husband told me to, and I have the kids at the house and they're playing with the rabbit, don't give it the lettuce, just give it the
listen to the
I listen
Tom
to
and
because
Jenya?
he has turtles.
Go on!
The bunny rabbit stopped
Died!
moving. And we're up in the air and everything. And my daughter comes walking out into the living room and she's holding this stiff rabbit. And she
Oh.
goes, "Mommy, did you kill?"
Kill the rabbit.
I'm only laughing because I didn't actually kill it, but
You never gave it water.
I did give it water. But because the lettuce,
It's
it was
water.
so used to eating lettuce. So it was literally dying.
Wait.
Of
And
hunger.
Eric walks in and he goes, "Oh my God, what did you do to my rabbit?" I'm like, "Tom and Jen told me to give it pellets." And he goes, "You don't just give it pellets. He's got no liquid in him." And he went down to the hospital with the rabbit and they said that will be $800. And he said that he had this thought, and our two
Wait,
kids are
what
with
was
him.
$800? Did they save its
Yeah,
life?
they were going to
Did
put
they-
it the
IV.
the little IVs
Oh,
in the
yeah.
little rabbit paws.
Right.
And he said, I had to really think, did this rabbit give me $800 worth of pleasure in the time that we've had it?
I would have done it.
Because he said that
No, I would have done it.
he really didn't want to spend the $800 on it.
Fuck
but
that. I would
he
have done it. I
did.
said, do it!
He did.
And it came to life?
It came back to life. So, but I
Oh,
did almost
God.
kill a rabbit.
I can't.
You know,
and I
that-
wouldn't have been able to save
How
it.
could
I
you
didn't have
not
$800.
Save an animal.
But you did save it.
Yeah, he saved it
Yeah.
because I didn't have the money.
That reminds me of a thing
Please.
I saw on. Speaking of social media, sometimes you watch a video or whatever that someone posts,
Right.
and it's just great. So this just popped to mind. There was a rabbi who was talking about, not a rabbit, a rabbi who was talking about
Did my
marriage.
rabbit story make you
You
think
have
of a
a great
rabbit?
voice.
The
You
entire
have a
time
great
I thought.
voice.
You
the
do
enti-
have a great. Can you hear him? He's almost like
So great.
it's very sexy and low. It's like I
Yeah.
feel like like
The-
you're in bed with him. He's like. "Eh,
By the
bah,
way,
bah, bah."
that entire story you just told, I thought you were talking about a rabbi. So I have to now reboot that story in my head. So the rabbi was dehydrated. Why was the rabbi eating lettuce? What are rabbi pellets? It was very confusing. I don't know. But anyway,
Sorry. Okay,
so
now
this
you get it.
rabbi, he talked.
this a joke?
No, he talked. This was one of those
is like
videos that
the
gives you a little bit
rabbi
of
says-
wisdom,
Okay.
wisdom on the Facebook. And this
All
one
right.
was called Fish Love, and this rabbi was explaining that this was on the subject of like did I get $800 worth of pleasure from this rabbit? Like looking at it as a transaction. He was objecting to this notion of fish love, which is like someone catching a fish, thinking of love in that regard. It's like, what is this fish going to do for me? As opposed to, I apologize to this rabbi and to all rabbis because I just totally ruined the story. All I'm going to say is Google fish love.
Wait,
and
what is he saying about fish love?
He's essentially saying that in our modern conception has become about what can I get in this relationship, as opposed to
what can
I give or what can we create together, instead of this idea of like going fishing.
So when you go fishing, you can love the fish you're killing?
No, I think he was just saying a lot of people go after dating or after wooing or
He's
anything.
using the fish as like
they're going
a metaphor.
In relationships. They're trying to get this thing and see what can I get out of it, as opposed to some other conception of what I'm doing when I'm dating or when I'm in a relationship that I'm not trying to get. I'm sorry. Maybe the rabbi, maybe his fish story sucked. That's what we learned. See, that's why I'm an atheist.
But that's why
I love animals. I love animals to death. Like, I will do anything for an animal. I mean, if I have it, I'll do it.
Can you walk my dogs tomorrow?
And you know what? I
You
feel
said
bad
anything,
for
right?
pigs. I don't eat pork for that reason.
Good
because
for you.
pigs are very smart. They're smarter than dogs. They know.
Here's the thing.
They know.
I was speaking to Terry Gross. Anyway, he was talking about horses, and he said to Terry Gross, he goes, you don't understand how much I love horses, because he breaks horses and does all these things, and he used to ride horses, and he still rides them. But he was thrown, and the horse stepped on his head, and he had all these. So anyway, it's a whole long story. But he said, you don't understand. I couldn't walk away from horses because I love them. They're spiritual. I feel their souls. He goes, when I look into a horse's eyes, I get more from that horse than I've gotten in my whole entire conversation right now with you, Terry. And she goes, oh, thanks a lot. Because it was sort of like insulting.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking about it. I'm thinking, like, do the horses have souls, or are people just projecting their souls? Like you, Carrie.
How could you say that? Of
projecting
course
your
an
soul
animal
onto
has
the
a soul.
animal.
No.
Because the animal. Here's the thing: animals, they have souls. But I saw this thing on Nature. Okay, this may not make any sense, but anyway, the lion and the lioness. So the lion and the lioness were together, and the lion was kind of sick, and she had 2 cubs. The other lion comes in. He kills the other lion because he was weak. He had been sick. And then he wants to take the lioness with him.
Is this a Disney thing?
No, this is like an actual, Kevin watches nature shows. He kills the 2 cubs, too, this new big lion.
Right, because he doesn't want them to grow up and kill him back.
Guess who walks away with the lion, who just killed her 2 cubs and her husband? The lioness. So how full of souls are they if they'll go with that fucking guy? Do you see what I mean? Like, maybe we're putting too much. Maybe we're putting too much on these animals. Maybe they don't have souls. Maybe they're just like whores that go off with the first guy who comes along and kills their children.
May I?
Yeah, please.
I just wanted to say that we've explored the possibility that
that I'm
animals have souls or don't have souls. I believe that they don't have souls, and nor do we. That there's no such thing as a soul.
Oh, you don't
We have our
believe in a soul.
consciousness, and we have our emotions, and so my attachment to the dogs is like that guy's attachment to the horse. It's that I get a lot from those relationships, but I don't believe that there's a soul there. I'm again back to the atheism thing. This is a shout out to the atheists of America. This is a plug.
Don't piss off Carrie. Carrie believes in
I'm
the
just trying to provoke Carrie.
He has to have his own opinion.
I believe in
but
souls,
here's what
even though
think.
I'm
Again, I don't hate you for that, and I don't hate her.
Well, thank you. Why do you hate me?
I don't hate anybody for anything. But here's the thing. Eventually, we will know who's right and who's wrong.
Or we won't.
Or we won't.
Or there's
and
just
you know what?
silence.
If there is nothing after, then we don't even exist now.
No, that's not true.
That's true. Because there's no way to prove that we were here at all if there's nothing after.
Wait, say that again?
No. Don't say that again.
If there's nothing after, then we don't even. Then how do we know we even exist now? We don't exist.
Who knows if we exist?
We have
I think we
consciousness.
exist. We're talking to each other.
I have a question for you guys.
Please.
I love that gum chewing expression. I love that. That is so hot. I love that. The kind of disgusted
Carrie
look.
is sassy. She's snapping her gum at
I
you.
do the gum on purpose. I
like
just want people to know that because they keep going to me. Why is the gum in your mouth?
Yeah.
It's the character. Go.
And also,
Go. This gum blows, Carrie. This Greek gum. It has no staying power.
Elma.
It's great for the first 30 seconds, and then it turns into like glue in your mouth.
So go ahead. What were you saying?
I have no recollection.
Okay, that's good. This is all natural from a tree.
Oh, God.
You're a natural person. You're all about vegan. No one died for this.
See, isn't that shitty gum?
Got this right off
Not
a tree.
enough sugar. It tastes like, you know when you take Aspergum?
So good.
Aspergum for
No, there's
like
a weird flavor. Elma.
Wait,
Elma. Every package comes with a chewed piece of gum stuck to the front. Elma.
Dan Guerin, I don't even know how do you pronounce his name. Garen Guerin is
Guerin.
listening, which is fantastic. Reminds me of the character Leon from the movie The Professional. That's who you
She
remember.
does?
You do.
Oh.
Who is
My
Leon
beard.
from The
I hear that
Professional?
sometimes.
Who
Leon
is
from-
that? The
Leon
Professional.
is it's that Luc, what's his name? Besson. Is Luc Besson? Was that his movie with Natalie Portman? That was her breakout role.
Oh, don't know.
In fact, we're watching this really cool show now on Netflix, which is called Babylon Berlin. It's a German series. It's amazing. And the star is a woman who's in her 20s. And she said, I just read her Wikipedia bio yesterday, she was inspired by that very film to become an actress. Leon, The Professional.
I never
In
saw
Europe,
it.
the film was called Leon. In America, it was called The Professional.
Here's the thing.
Tell me.
When do you
That
find
would-
I don't have time to watch anything, and when I do finally
Because
get
you
in
have kids.
bed to
Yeah,
relax,
that's right.
and I put the headset on because you can't make noise and my husband's sleeping.
Yeah.
I put on a show. I'm like,
And you were asleep 5 minutes in.
and
Yeah.
2 seconds later, I'm out. So I don't have time to
Yeah,
watch anything.
we'll watch an episode or two in bed before falling asleep.
That's because you don't have kids.
No, that's what I said.
Also,
Why
Carrie
didn't
had
you
a
have time?
restaurant. How
Oh, my
she
God,
had
what kind
a
of
restaurant?
restaurant?
It's
She
a
worked
horrible
full time.
place.
Then she has kids. Then she did comedy on the
It's
weekend.
still there, Gyrolicious.
Yeah, but you're not
Hero.
getting any money from
Hirolicious.
Joe McGaha. That's what happened. Hi, Joe McGaha. That's what happened with
This
George
guy is
Michael.
really funny. Sasha, by the way. Sasha with an S.
Oh, he's cute.
He's
He's
hilarious.
smiling.
Yeah.
He's
Sasha
like a caveman.
What's Sasha's last
He's so
name?
funny. I'm sorry, Sasha, for fucking up your name, but
See,
he's
I
really
I
funny.
don't know
the Irish
any
guy?
of these new
He's
comics.
not. He's like Sir. I think it's like Balkans, like Serbian or something. But
Balkans. I don't
Yes,
know
yes.
the
he
last
looks
name is
it.
Sabur. I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry, Sasha, but Sasha and then with an S. Funny guy.
I don't
What
know
does this
any of
mean?
these
That's
new
what happened with
comedians, though.
George Michael. What happened with George Michael?
Well, you gotta have.
He must have said that when I. Wait a minute. That must
You were
have
talking
been
about
some-
faith earlier, Carrie.
I guess, and he's Greek and I'm Greek, and
Oh wow.
yeah,
I can't remember.
George Michael. It's
Yeah,
Greek.
I didn't know.
Oh.
How
So
many-
anyway, I think
How many
we're
minutes are we in?
we're in. A, yeah,
Holy fuck!
Oh,
that's
look, can I do a
long.
plug?
Please.
we want you to plug everything
Okay. Can I?
because you.
Oh,
have
'cause I
been
just did
a
12
very
plugs already.
Great,
No,
interesting guest.
but I
We
want to plug
loved
some
having
stuff
you
that's.
on the
I
show,
love
by the
being
way.
here. Christ,
You
I'll
were
be
s-
back tomorrow.
you
Can
were
we do this every
awesome.
day?
Yes, and we're going to
Yeah.
talk about when you come back. We'll talk about Trump. And I'm kidding. And farts. Okay.
Please come see me May 3rd at Dangerfield. It's in
May
the 8 p.m. show.
3rd?
May 3rd at Dangerfield. And look
You're
up.
on Bob DeBona's show, and I'm on it
Yeah,
with you.
Very nice,
I will be-
Bob.
Do you didn't know that I worked with you that other time at Bob DeBona's
Of course
show?
I did.
You did? Are you sure?
I didn't because I
love
might have.
the
You
boner.
did
I might
because
have
you
to-
didn't say hello to
Yeah.
me.
Bob
What?
the Boner, Bob
Okay,
the Boner.
so I'm on that show, and then May 12th I'm doing a show up in Connecticut with my buddy Tom Eshelman. Tom Eshelman is hilarious. In fact, I'm going right now after this to see him at the West Side Comedy Club. Tom Eshelman
He has too many friends.
is having me on I'm guesting in a town called Christ. What is it called? Sorry.
Christ, that's a town.
Christ, Connecticut.
I like that he says Christ and he's atheist.
Actually, the one time I almost died in a car accident. It didn't. My car started spinning. I was on the way to an audition in Tennessee. My little Honda started spinning, and this is what popped out of my mouth: Jewish atheist. Do you want to know what popped out of my mouth?
Jesus. Carrie knows that means
Branford, Connecticut. Look how happy that story
something. I
made
know,
you.
she loves that.
So May 12th.
It's true. He was there for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. May 12th, you can see me with Tom up in Branford, Connecticut at a place called La Luna, the moon.
Who's
and
Tom?
then Tom Eshelman,
Oh,
very
that's
funny
what you
comedian.
just said. I was short of
And
attention
then
span.
April, see, I've been doing these shows with this great comedian, Dave Kay. He's having me, I'm featuring for him
don't know
down
any of
in.
these people.
So June 1st and 2nd, I'm featuring Dave Kay is the fabulous and funny headliner at a place called Cozy's, COZZY', in Newport News, Virginia. But before that,
Wow,
those
you
dates.
travel far to do a gig.
Before
Virginia.
that, I'm with Dave Kay again, April 26th and April 27th in St. Mary's, Pennsylvania, and in, God damn it,
Oh,
what's the
you
name of that
drive
other
too
town?
far. I can't drive this
Hold on.
far for gigs.
St. Mary's, PA, and Coatesville. On the 27th, we're in Coatesville, PA, and then in St. Mary's, PA, on the 28th of April. And then,
Oh my God.
oh,
what?
okay. Oh, this Thursday you can hear me
Yes.
on Sirius XM 121, this Thursday at 4 p.m. on John Fugelsang's
Everybody
show.
does that show.
That's a great show
We
called
should
Tell
do
Me
that
Everything.
show,
You
right,
guys should do
Carrie?
that show. John Fugelsang, hilarious guy. We met at Caroline's working
I
together.
did
Why
that
don't
show,
we
you,
do
Yes.
me, and
Why
him,
don't we
but
do
nobody
it?
saw me there.
So this Thursday, what is
Let's
that?
Tell Me
April
Everything.
19th?
We should listen to it.
You
Yeah,
can
April
hear-
19th on Sirius XM 121. This Thursday at 4 p.m. John Fugelsang
We
show.
could
Tell
also
Me Everything.
plug this. You'll be on Chick Chat when Adam
And
puts
Chick
it
Chat.
up by Thursday.
I'll be on Chick Chat. Chick Chat.
If you didn't see it live,
Chick Chat.
you can always
right.
catch it on
The
YouTube.
thing is to say
right
the
now.
name of the thing that you're plugging 7 times. I said it 4. Now I'll say 3 more times. Chick Chat, Chick Chat, Chit Chat.
Beautiful.
See, it turned into Chit Chat. I screwed it up.
Chat. Carrie?
This Friday. No, this Friday I'm open. If anybody needs a comedian, Friday I'm open.
It's kind of late notice.
No, it's not. They asked me if I could do Saturday, but I'm booked Saturday.
Wow, they asked you before me. I took your sloppy seconds. I'm doing
That's
it now.
because you were still looking for the parking spot.
Yeah, that's
bitch.
true. I was.
Wow, it's all about the parking.
It's
That's
all
what,
about
in
who's
the end,
first.
It's all about
Who's
the
in
parking.
your face first? That's what it's
Yeah.
about. And then Saturday, I'm doing a gig for Jeff Norris out in New Jersey, which I'm stopping in Atlantic City because the
And
Borgata.
gambling.
No. The Borgata's doing a bike giveaway, and I'm getting that bike. I'm going in, I'm signing in, and they're going to give
What do
me
you
the
mean
Is
bike.
a
that
bike? A
Atlantic City?
motorcycle?
You know, when you gamble,
The
gamble.
Borgata, is that Atlantic City?
You're such-
What, the nose
That
gig?
is so
That's
stupid, and I laughed at
Oh,
it.
that I'm sure. I thought every guest does that. I thought that's what this thing was here for.
No one has
Love it.
ever
No, it's-
done that.
I don't like germs, so this is mine.
I love germs, and
Mine.
Except I
germs
wash
are
my
just a
hands
government.
because
That's
I
just
have
a plot. Do you think
OCD.
there's germs? You ever seen a germ? That's just.
I don't know.
I hate when I talk into a microphone on stage and it smells like
I
the
bring my
most
own mic.
foul. And you have to do the whole 45 with this stink
Then-
coming at
No,
you.
but you could tell the guy, give me a shot of Absolute or whatever alcohol,
that
and then
do?
you rub it on it.
Oh, I
Well,
didn't
that's
know
good.
that. All right.
That is good.
I'm doing it a long time now. I know all the
That's-
tricks and
that
the trade.
technique,
Call
that
me,
was-
I'll.
well, I like
The 20th, this Friday, the comic strip, 2 shows.
Yeah,
Nice.
see, they wanted me on the Friday. Oh no, Friday.
No, that's Friday. Saturday, comic strip, 2 shows. I got that job because you didn't take the job. Because guess what? I've been promoting a show in Freehold, New Jersey at the Hopewell Firehouse Banquet Hall, and they didn't get a fucking liquor license, so they canceled me. Anyway.
That's what they said anyway.
Yeah,
they
that's what
probably
they
got a
said.
different headliner.
By the way,
I know, that's exactly what Kevin said. Kevin goes, you should see. if they-
We should go there. We should drive there Saturday night and see if they're actually doing a fucking show.
And next, can I just say the 28th, I'm
no,
going to be.
because why are you plugging the 28th if you're having a show next week here?
Because Johnny Lampert is putting me on a gig with East Hanover, New Jersey, police fundraiser. Because for the fundraisers, I like, people to go.
wait, I want to do one more little plug.
Oh,
if you'll
my
let me.
God. This is
Yeah,
the
so
never-ending
that's what I'm
land of
doing.
plugs.
Friday I'm open. Saturday I got some private gig.
All right.
Ethan,
Ethan.
I did a shoot yesterday. It was like a basically kind of a modeling thing. Just
Of
being
course
a
you
yeah, but
did.
not as like a it was not a that kind of modeling
Not
job.
like
It was
a
just
what?
looking.
a friend is starting he started this company called Narrative, NARRATIV.com. I think it's 2 R's, but it's a V. There's no E on the end. Narrative.com. And it's this guy Murray Nussel who trains people in listening, the art and skill of listening, and he goes into corporations to help them learn how to do that. And so this is his new website. So he was getting some shots of him working with people, getting them to tell a story. I thought of it earlier in our talk because
Why, because
I
you
was
didn't feel like we
interrupting.
were listening?
No, I was interrupting, and I thought he talks about creating like a bowl, creating like a space for the person to talk. Give it a
Uh-oh,
listening
I
space.
Patty needs that class.
Oh, my
I didn't hear a
God.
word you just said. It's so true. We don't listen anymore to people.
It's true. So my friend Doug Safranik, who's an amazing painter, so he was the one who you got to look at his stuff.
He's
He works in egg tempera.
He doesn't know any
amazing
I know,
with
but
this guy.
he doesn't know any regular shit people.
No, everybody. That's because he went to
I
fucking
know
Harvard.
a lot of shit people.
I went to
I could tell you who a horrible painter is.
Anyway.
I went to Potsdam where everybody sucked. See, he goes to Harvard. This is what happens when you go to
She's
a
not
good school.
listening.
you
None
get
of these
rich
people, I don't know any of these people through college. But anyway, Doug, amazing painter. He works in egg tempera, and he teaches at the Art Students League. But he introduced me to Murray, and that was how I ended up shooting this thing for Narrative.com.
And were you going to be wearing outfits? or
Yeah,
what's
I'm
the
just
deal?
I'm wearing a plaid
Well, you're
shirt.
tall and thin.
So it
How
was a little
tall are
boxy.
you?
I used to say 6'4", but I'm 6'3". I used to be
Okay,
like
that's a
6'3"
model's
and
height.
3/4. Well,
That's a model's
I
height,
know,
and
I
you're
got too
slender.
much girth. It's not slender
No,
enough.
I know it's not slender enough. You have to be
You
emaciated.
got to be emaciated and ripped.
But you're still good. I got to say.
I don't
you
like
so
that
much.
look. don't
I know
like when
everybody's
the men
with
are
the.
too skinny.
I
I
know.
don't like
They
it.
want that look, though.
I
That's
like
the
it.
look they want.
I
That's
want
the
a
look
man.
the
I want a
models
man. I
want.
don't want a skinny
I like an eggplant
girl man.
parmesan. That's not a skin. That's not a thinning food.
With
That's what I
gluten
have
on
for
it?
lunch. Lots extra gluten.
Ugh.
Sal's Pizzeria on Lorimer Street.
He's gonna
in
give a
Elizabeth.
shout-out to Sal's Pizzeria.
Mimo from Puglia, who runs the place. Mimo, established in 1967. Sal's
Italian?
Pizzeria. Is he Italian? Compared to him, no one else is Italian. Great food.
I used to hate
Well, because
the guy.
you go into pizzerias now, and they're all Mexican people.
Well, there is a lot of that. Yeah, but this
Okay,
is.
but
I don't have a problem with that, by the way. It's
I
not,
don't
if you
either.
go into in Italy, most of the pizzaiolos are from the Indian subcontinent. That's the truth. So people have a fantasy in Italy. All the pizzaiolos throwing the pizzas are Italian. They're not either, because
Right.
it's not. Excuse me.
I've had good pizza from Mexican guys.
Yeah, of
but-
the
course. That's what I'm
snazzy
saying.
Italian restaurant I worked at in Brooklyn Heights. The Italian comes in, he teaches them all how to cook, and
And
then the
then he's gone.
Mexicans do
Yeah.
it, and then 6 months later they go back home and they send their brother over. They teach the brother, and the Mexicans work
Look,
7
That's
days
called
a week.
chain migration. Ask her about that.
I got to tell you, the Mexican people are probably the hardest working people I've ever met.
Again,
True.
You're painting with a
the
wide
ones
brush.
I've met,
Wide brush.
the ones I've met, I said,
I'm gonna learn you yet.
and
I'm gonna
they
learn you yet.
can they can
ahead,
they can
Carrie.
copy your recipe even better than you.
I agree. I'm going to agree because I have worked with some.
The ones that I've worked with.
There you
Yes.
go.
Thousands
Come on.
of
No,
ones
no more
that I've-
generalizations.
I was going to
Enough.
say one other thing about something you just said, and I can't remember. What was the thing you were
About
saying
pizza?
before pizza?
Eggplant parmesan?
What was the thing?
Sal's,
Oh,
1967?
yes, Sal's. This isn't the same Sal's, I'm assuming. But was he in Brooklyn? Sal's in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Lorimer in Williamsburg.
Oh, not in Williamsburg. Oh, okay. I fucking hated that Sal.
Oh.
Because he used to go and he wouldn't let my kids spin around on the chairs. He goes, "Stop spinning around on my chairs!" And the kids would be swinging around because their feet would hit on the
Was
wood. He goes,
that-
"Your feet are hitting them." I'm like, I felt like going, "Fuck you!" My kid's 5 and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was that
but-
Danny Aiello in the role of Sal? That was
And
amazing.
what was that
it was
movie?
a dead ringer.
What was that movie?
Yeah, that was
Diarrhea.
What was that movie?
Do the Right
Oh,
Thing.
dead
Right.
ringer.
Do the
Oh,
right
do the right
Spike
thing. I thought
Lee.
you said diarrhea.
That was a great movie, brother.
I
All
didn't
right,
even
so
think
let's.
that was such a
We're
great
wrapping
movie.
up
Let's wrap
now
up.
because
Now-
we
now
want
is-
to. Let's do a shout out to the Comic Strip Live on
Comic Strip Live,
82nd
yeah.
Thank you.
and Second Avenue.
That's where we do our podcast.
New York,
yes,
New
go
York.
ahead, Karen.
It's the best club.
It is.
I'm enjoying working back here.
And what about that guy?
Love
and
it.
Adam Hineker from the Rec Room, always doing a fabulous job
Thank you,
for us.
Adam.
And not only does he do us, but he does Ellen Karras.
He does like fucking everybody. He does
Kevin Brennan.
all night long.
He's doing everything.
Kevin Brennan. You're such an asshole.
So, yes. So, thank you for having us. And
Please subscribe because
To
here's the thing.
chit-chat.
Here's the thing. We want to make money in this lifetime at this podcast. And if you subscribe and you leave us some nice reviews, if you don't like us, don't leave a review. But if you like us,
But you can't not like us.
yeah, what's not to like?
Listen,
Seriously.
listen. So, let me just put it like this.
Please.
Subscribe to this fucking podcast.
Yes.
Enough with the. They're not asking. They're telling you. Subscribe to it. It's great. They're great. And also share it far and wide. Share it with all your friends.
Yes.
Knock it off with this just a like and then move on to something else.
We
Read
do
dumb
have
article.
some sharers.
Share
Brian
it.
Plato, Magaha. They share.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it?
That's it.
Share it. Share it.
Thank
Sharing is
you.
caring.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, darling.